Welcome, guys, to OG Merpay's new and improved Wednesday night D&D stream. To celebrate my newly found affiliate status, I reinvested a little bit in the channel. I always told myself that I would do that when and if I ever hit affiliate. And now that I have done so, I have picked up a brand new overlay, and this is going to be my normal D&D setup. It accommodates between 4 and 6 players. Obviously, I mean, it could accommodate less. Tonight, for example, we only have 3 players. Big shout out to everybody who watches the channel, everybody who supports it. Big shout out to Ages of Aenor for a huge raid this last month, which pushed me over 3 concurrent viewers. Big love for the D&D Twitch community. All that being said, we are going to get into our normal D&D game tonight. I have everybody muted in the back channel. I'm sure they're having their own conversation about something. We will get into it, do some recap, have them reintroduce their characters as soon as I interrupt whatever it is they're talking about. All right, guys, I am live. Thank you for being patient. Does anybody want to do the recap for last week?
So
I
let's see.
say gnome titties. Gnome big titty.
We went to go try and save the loggers.
Yeah.
Yep.
We managed to haggle for some horses.
Yeah, you did. Big surprise from your DM, but yeah, you did.
And we managed to get those horses, ride them back to the thing. We found a dead body before we got to the camp, and once reaching the camp, we found it in flames. No bodies in sight, but after a minute, we see a dying lizard person, like trying to crawl out of the river. In which case, we heal them, and they let us know that they got attacked, and that they're the only as far as they know, they were the only survivor. In which case, we tell them, we need to get back to town, and we Art draws the short end of the stick and has to run back, whereas the rest of us are on horses. And we come across the pool of blood where that first initial body was, and we see that it's no longer there. The miscommunication happens, and we think we're in season 4 of Stranger Things.
Oh, man.
I was going to say, you better mention the miscommunication of tree limbs versus human limbs.
Yeah, any DMs out there, you paint a very different picture if you're describing wreckage from like a portal opening, for example, and you describe broken limbs up in the trees. Those could be tree limbs, or those could be human or lizard folk limbs, or whatever else. And if you don't clarify, your players won't know. Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
No, you're good. Once that got cleared up, we were able to deduce that it was in fact Calorol. He had taken the body because we had passed through the area, and we left off with Tim finding a gold coin in the pool of blood and being unable to keep himself from going to it.
Yeah. That pretty much sounds right. That's pretty much it. I do want to make just the slightest addition, which is going to be just kind of setting the scene here for you guys. So this, lizard folk is riding on a horse with Mary, and is pretty stubborn and like obstinately, stops everything, gets off, wants to find the body of the logger, and is like looking around for it, which is what like causes the party to stop in the first place and like even bother with this, because everybody was pretty like Mary and Art especially were pretty like, there are goblins in this forest, shit just got attacked, like we got to get out of here. And Tim was like frantic to find somebody, help somebody, heal somebody back at the logging camp, and Art and Mary just really did not have good vibes and wanted to like get out and go back to to Ruinswick. So, in this dramatic moment where you guys are looking around, Mary has done some tracking. She's found there are a lot of goblin prints, which footprints, through the blood and on the path, which all seem to kind of go back and forth between a location up the road and disappear and just stop. And the party determines that this is most likely from Calral's portal opening. And traditionally, Calral pays you all, pays Tim, with a blood red coin in exchange for each corpse he has taken. And that is the calling that Tim felt, was over to the pool of blood, where he, knelt to his knees, reached in with a trembling hand and pulled out, the small gold coin, holding it aloft for the party to see, just as Art, who, mind you, was like pretty far back behind the horses, because he's just like running and trudging along trying to keep up with a pair of horses, like comes around the bend to see Tim holding the coin, Mary, Corbin, and the lizard folk like standing behind, and this is the scene that we are picking up on. And specifically, when we left, Tim was a little bit Tim's player. His gears were turning a little bit, and we were running up against time anyway. So he is going to start us off by reacting to, for finding this. He still has the coin in his hand. It's still visible to all of you. Art, panting and out of breath, has just come around the bend to see this. And most notably to you, Art, there is no body that was here previously. So Tim, if you would start with, you have this coin in your hand.
So you see, you had seen Tim reach down like jerkily and reach into the pool and pick up a coin, and you're looking at him, and like he's not really moving at this point. He's just kind of like staring at the coin. He's like just like mulling it over, if you will, and he's not doing anything. He's not moving or anything. And it's gonna be that way until something happens.
The lizard folk will turn to Mary and Corbin, who are standing next to each other, and say, "What is this?"
Mary's gonna kind of see Tim in this catatonic shock state, and she's gonna hike up her skirt. She's gonna go in front of him and be like, "Buddy, look at me."
Tim is still actually looking at the thing. Actually, you know what? Constitution roll or something, or will save. Let's do that.
I'm about to say, you can self-impose whatever you want for role-playing purposes. I highly encourage that.
Okay, let's do that.
Do your thing, boo. You couldn't kill someone by slapping him, right?
You could absolutely kill somebody by slapping them.
I couldn't kill Tim by slapping him at the moment.
Tim has a lot of hit points. You, Mary,
Okay.
Absolutely could not.
Okay. Just wanted to check.
I didn't decide on that DC before I rolled, so let's just say it was 10 and I made it. So Tim is going to slowly look away and yes. I guess it sounds a bit more confused than I was.
Oh, he's gonna let's get out of the blood pool.
Tim's just gonna look down and oh, right, yes.
And you up to your knees are in this pool of blood. The edges of your robe are now soaked with it. From holding up the coin, the blood is run down your arm and started dripping off of your elbow, and has started the process of drying. And you realize, in a moment, that you are straight up kneeling in blood and mostly covered in it at this point.
Mary's gonna do a nice person thing. She's gonna use that one spell she has, the one we've used to pull things out of liquids out of leather and that stuff.
You absolutely cannot do that while he's still kneeling in the pool. You do not have.
Oh, are you out of the pool?
Tim is gonna like once he's like, yeah, let's get out of here. Tim's just gonna like slowly start getting up and getting out of the pool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Once she's out of the pool, she'll do it.
I want you to roll me something. 'Cause there's still a lot of blood. Roll me a general arcana check. It's magic.
Okay. How does that one work?
You roll and you add your wisdom modifier.
Okay, give me 1 second. My file sheet's having to re-upload.
Cool, you're good. And tell you what, I know there's a knowledge arcana as well. That's a skill. If you have any of that, go ahead and add that modifier instead, because that'll have your wisdom modifier included in it, on top of whatever skill points there are.
I think she has like a regular old like identify magic, but I don't think she has that one. Yeah. I can check.
No, it's all good. If you don't have a skill, just go ahead and add your wisdom modifier to it.
Okay.
We're gonna see, because you're a rogue. You're not like, you have this like inherent gnome magic because gnomes are magical, but you know, like this is not something you use every day. This is not something you do all the time. And like Mary, as a grandmother, may have a lifetime of experience, like removing stains from stuff. But removing stains from stuff is a lot different than, you know, somebody literally covered in blood. This isn't as simple
as going, we can put it in some cold water and the blood will come out.
Yeah. Club soda.
Yeah. That's something all women have to learn, and it sucks. Yeah. Okay. Come on, load thing.
We play with a program called PC Gen. I know I stream under the D&D category. I do put the Homebrew tag on it. We are a cross between 5e and Pathfinder, and PC Gen is a good system for doing that. It does take a minute to load, though.
Yeah, it had to like redo it. Okay. Okay, we're in the character sheet. Let me find it.
Also, shout out to Map Guffin.
Who's that?
He's the guy who made this map.
Oh. Okay, so it was any type of arcana, you said?
It would be a knowledge arcana specifically. Otherwise, just add your wisdom modifier.
Yeah, she ain't got shit. Okay. Well, at least she has a +1 wisdom.
There you go.
At least it's not like one of the ones where it's like negative. Ooh.
Tim's got plenty of those.
9.
Okay, that's not phenomenal, but
yeah,
you know,
it's not a
you get him. You get the important stuff up off of him, like, you know, you like pull the wet blood off of like his arm, and you know, get a lot of the excess out, so he's not like dripping blood on himself anymore. You like clean up all the small spots from the waist up, and you pull like a large volume out of his like knees and legs, but they're definitely bloodstained.
Okay. At least you're not wet no more, kid.
Yeah, Tim is just like, thank you. And he's just like, where are we going? What are we doing? He's out of it for a sec. He's out of it for a little bit here.
Well, we got to get to the camp to rest and, you know, talk to this guy over here about what went down.
Rest, yes. Shall we? As like he looks back to Corbin as like to get back on the horse and continue.
Corbin's going to be like, if you're ready to go, and he's going to like glance back at Art, who presumably is still in the process of catching his breath. And, you know, are you going to be ready to keep running?
Art's just going. Yeah, I think I have a little left in me.
Looking over, Tim is gonna say, "Do you want to take the next bit here?"
Like, are you asking him to get on the horse?
Yeah. Do you want to get on the horse?
Who's gonna run then?
Good old Timothy.
Good old Tim.
Mary at him and be like, "Dumbass, you just literally had like a mental trauma moment. You are not running."
Yeah, Art's just gonna kind of be like, it's all good. I'll stick it out.
And Corbin will turn and say, I would run, but the horse can't handle 2 humans. I know that. I'm like Mary. I'm pretty light.
All right. But
The
Tim's
lizard
just
folk
gonna-
is already up on one of the horses, and turns to Mary and hisses, "Are we leaving?"
Yep. She's gonna kind of reach her hand out to him to like get up.
He's gonna like you see the like lizard equivalent of him like rolling his eyes as he lets out a sigh, like leans over, grabs you, and basically just like gives you a solid tug and just pulls you into the air, and you know, you yeah, he
When Mary
lets
gets
you on the
into
horse.
when Mary gets in the air, she's just gonna go. Whee!
Corbin like scrambles back up on one of the horses, and he's like scooted back into the passenger position.
Oh,
Tim is
Mary
going.
front or the back of the lizard?
Back lizards holding the reins.
Tim is gonna jump up after Corbin.
Okay, presumably you're driving this thing.
Yes.
Cool. And then you guys had made it most of the way through the logging trail. It's only a few hours from. Let me actually pull up the. Actually, I don't have that here. I need to add that as a map actually. So give me just a second. See, we're working out the stream kinks here. This is Ruinswick Regional. And my D&D map. Under maps. Call it Woodhurst. Ruinswick. Woodhurst Region Local. There you go. Okay. Which is here. You guys are like not quite to the lighthouse in the Whitburn Woods. And so running back to the trail to head up to Ruinswick, is only going to take you guys a couple of hours. So I won't make you roll any like animal handling checks on your horses or anything. But it is late, and you guys, have not. You guys are going on 2 days without sleep at this point. So once you get back to the main road, are you going to continue up to Ruinswick, or are you going to set up camp? Or do something else?
Mary's gonna vote camp.
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 Okay. So you guys, a couple hours later, in what is the absolute dead of night, emerge onto the main road that connects Woodhurst to Ruinswick, and find the area, which at this point you guys have used as a campsite numerous times, and this is the wagon map, but it's a good roadside camp map as well. No, it's not saved games. It is saved objects. Players' characters. And after a couple hours, you guys set up camp. The lizard folk turns to you all and says, "What about watches?"
Hand and go. I'll go first.
Okay. So I was gonna say Art's pretty tired from running.
And the lizard folk.
Art-
also
Art
pretty
needs an
tired.
inhaler.
The lizard folk says, "I will take the second." And then Corbin pipes up, "I guess I can take the third shift. I'm not that tired. I've been riding on a horse." Which leaves one more.
Then Art will say, okay, I'll take the last shift.
Sweet. Do you guys? This is a great time for exposition. While you guys are like setting up camp before you like roll through the night. You guys have not really gotten much of a lowdown from this lizard folk, and last session you had expressed some interest in doing that. But it's up to you. Camp is set up. Your watch order has been established for whenever you want to call it for the day, and you were all sitting around the communal campsite. the lizard folk, cleaning his, claws and using them like pick out bits of, like leaves and twigs and shit from between his scales.
Tim is just going to ask what happened.
And the lizard folk, without looking up, still like casually cleaning himself, saying, "Goblins, Bogan."
Bo what?
Bogan.
Is this a... Hold on. Say it in a non-lizard way. What?
Bogan.
Oh.
Bogan, Redcap.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute. How Bogan Red... Oh, okay. I thought you were saying Bo again. I was like, what?
Bogan.
Never mind. I got it. Okay, sorry.
He's a lizard folk. He's got like a fucking maw. His words
I
sound
know.
different.
Tim,
Go ahead.
Tim's just gonna be like Bogan Redcap. Is that what you mean?
The very same.
I'm guessing they just showed up and went on a rampage.
And he says, "Yes, Gili fought by our side. He fell first." And then he's going to continue. "I was wounded, a spear in my side, and an arrow in my neck. I hid under the water, saw them overhead."
Did you see what they did with the bodies?
He says, "I do not. They were there when I went into the water. They were gone when I came out."
I think a certain K word someone took him.
I don't. Okay. When the goblin, I guess horde would be the way to put it, came, did they just come from the forest? Did they come from the water too, or just the forest?
He is going to take a minute to try and remember. And he says, "They came from the forest."
Okay. Can he see Mary's face at the moment?
Yeah, you guys are sitting around a campfire.
Can Mary give, like, Tim a look?
Yeah, I mean, what kind of look are you trying to give him?
I don't know how Andreas knows the look I'm making. It's when, kind of you raise your eyebrows and squint your eyes a little bit as, like, like you want to say something, but you don't know if you should say it. I'm gonna guess that Tim would know what Mary kind of wants to say, but doesn't want to say it.
I'm about to say, if you're not saying it, you have to leave it to Tim to extrapolate.
That's what I want to leave it at, and I don't know if I should say it as the player.
No, the player absolutely cannot say it.
Yeah.
So you're shooting Tim, whose player you are quite familiar with, a look which presumably you have shared in real life before.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, you spot this, unless you're, of course, too emotionally traumatized. I don't know where your character's at right now.
Yeah.
So he is going to see it, and I guess the big thing is that he is going to think that, yeah, this is probably consequences of the event that must not be named.
You're close.
What
Okay.
event?
Actually, like,
the lizard folk asks.
wait, what?
What event? The lizard folk asks.
Wait, Tim said that out loud?
Did he?
No, this was my thought process for Tim.
Okay, I need to know how Tim is reacting to Mary looking at her. You guys cannot talk about it. Tim needs to react.
Okay, Tim, his reaction is going to be that he is going to nod at Mary in affirmation.
Oh, you fucked up.
11.
Oh, give me 1 second as I lick the Cheeto dust off my fingers and decide if I'm going to kill myself. How do I put this? Okay. Mary's gonna say it, but I don't know how to word it.
Okay, well, you can take some time to
What
figure out how
was
you're going to word
can I-
something.
can I
Because your
ask
character would know instinctively what she wanted to say. It's okay for you to take
Yeah.
a second to think about what that would be.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the princess's name, but I can't remember it because I don't remember if we actually got the name. We just knew her dad was that guy.
If you don't remember yourself, you will need to roll
Yeah.
a wisdom check to see if you remember.
Sorry, Ty texted me. There's the Lego Muppets at Walmart. Andreas, we gotta go after it.
It's going to be like 10.
I don't care.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let me throw you said a wisdom check?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm going so I actually have Cheeto puff dust on my fingies. Okay.
You're cool.
Dave, could you increase the size of the tower, please?
Got you. No
Yeah,
big deal.
It keeps getting stuck, and when I have Cheeto finger dust, it's not as funny.
No, that's okay.
16 plus 1, so... Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, 1, so 17?
Before I answer, I want to ask whether or not Tim or Art remember.
No.
As the player, no. Does that count?
You as a player know?
Yeah.
Then that does count. Yeah, just I'm asking you to save me some time looking through my notes if you remember it off the top of your head.
We were not given the name.
There you go. That's what I thought.
That's
What
what I thought, but I wasn't sure, and
Yep.
I didn't want it to be like Princess Peach said. As I try to dumb my way through this.
What was the result of your save? 17?
Uh-huh.
That's high enough for you to remember to the best of your ability that you were never told.
Okay. Mary's gonna kind of look at the lizard folk and said, well, you remember how we found goblins infiltrating your camp with goblins pretending to be people and all that?
And he says, yes, and then you abandoned us before the attack.
Mary's gonna look at him and be like, we'll get back to that. They were a part of that group that had done that. Those goblins were a part of the Red Caps, so it makes sense that occurred. And yeah,
They were looking for your captive. I noticed you did not have her anymore.
yeah, she's dead. She dead.
Then you brought the attack against us.
Mary's gonna look at him and be like, no. That's the exact tone she's gonna say it in. I don't think so. No. They were already infiltrating your camp. They were gonna plan to kill all of you anyway. We think in a ritual sacrifice kind of way.
And he cuts you off. That is why you were there.
And that is why we asked you to leave with us. We told you this ain't safe, and you guys chose to stay.
Loggers are not cowards.
Look where that got you.
Better, and he spits back at you. Better to die with honor than live as a coward.
Better to live and help your friends live than let everyone die around you. If you had convinced your friends to come with us and chose that route, they would all be alive, and we could have all gone and killed the rest of the goblins. But We didn't. We tried to get you to come. We asked you to come.
And he says,
You guys said
we were not getting paid to kill goblins. You are paid to kill goblins.
Yeah, and you weren't getting paid to lumber right then either. You guys were taking the break. It was gone because of everything that was happening.
It was a paid day with no work.
Still. We can't go back and change the past. I am sorry that we were not convincing enough and that we left you guys there. We had to do this. This is a part of stuff, and we're not going to really get into it because it's stuff that is too complex to explain currently. I'm sorry that happened.
Your choice, no, yeah,
My
your choice of a diplomacy or a bluff check. I need one of those two right now, whichever you like.
Mary's going to take a diplomacy.
Cool.
I don't have Cheeto dust on my fingers because I ate it. Okay, I said diplomacy, right?
That's what you said.
Dirty 20, bitches.
And he says, things are already quite complicated.
Mary's gonna nod her head, and I said, I think that's something we can agree on. But, yeah. What are you gonna want to do when you get back to town?
And he says, report back to the guild.
Which one?
He says, the one which sent you to protect us. No shame. He's like putting you guys on blast. Like this is intended to be an insult.
Mary's gonna look at him and be like, okay. So you can report back to the guild. Goblins can swarm together again. Come back to Ruinswick and kill us all. Or, we got plan 2. You come back with us. We go kill some goblins. We wipe them all out. We go... You, if you die there, die a hero, wiping out goblins and defending your dead brethren and friends. Or come back with, honor and glory, and we will give you part of our contract money for killing the goblins.
At like part of our contract money, he like does the lizard folk equivalent of like raising an eyebrow in interest. I want to check in with the gentleman and make sure they have nothing to interject to this conversation before we continue.
We good. We chilling.
Cool. I know a lot of times you guys just let Mary do the talking for you, but I gotta DM it and make sure that we are creating enough space in the game for you guys if you are like looking to have some input with this lizard.
Mary is our big titty businesswoman.
Big titty business. Hashtag big titty businesswoman.
Come on,
you know what? Actually, that's another clip.
Hell yeah. You better put hashtag big titty businesswoman in the title.
That is absolutely. If YouTube allows me, that will be the title for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Watch it as I slowly gain the percentage on your search thing where I become the 50%.
I don't know. Stellaris, I've had Stellaris content on my channel for a year and a half before I started streaming D&D.
I hope not, because that would be really funny, but also a bit sad.
I also have a video called Take That Rod and Thrust It Deep.
I've seen it. Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm kind of like benchmarking the two against each other to see which one, picks up more steam.
Yeah.
So far, Big Titties is well in the lead as far as search terms go. Okay, but back into the game. The lizard folk. You have mentioned you're asking him essentially to come with you. You've mentioned offering to pay him for his job. He has piqued interest, and he says to you, "It is late. We will have time to discuss this during the travel tomorrow. Okay. I must sleep."
Okay. We'll discuss this more in the morning. Mary was taking first watch, from what I remember.
That sounds right, because he's got second, Corbin's got third, and Art has fourth. So, yes. Okay, boys. Everybody, or the lizard folk is calling it. He is no longer accessible for conversation. He has gone to bed down. And Corbin, and after he has gone to bed down, Corbin's like gonna like lean into you guys and say, well, he's kind of a weird guy.
Mary's gonna look and say, well, he did just watch, like, all of his colleagues get murdered.
And Corbin shrugs, and he's like, I watched lots of slaves get murdered. Contractees get murdered.
Mary's gonna look and be like, yeah, but you know how, like, when you're used to something, it's not a big deal, but then when someone else who's never seen it before, like, sees it, and it's like, it shocks them? Like how you got really shocked when you got money for the first time.
He's like, oh, yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that's, like, he's having. Like, you gotta think, he's never experienced that, or that at least we know of.
And Corbin's like, yeah, I guess. And then he says, okay, I think I'm going to call him for the night, too. And he's like, I guess the lizard guy will wake me up when it's my turn. I'm on to bed.
Okay.
Leaving the three of you.
Yeah, Art's gonna hit the hay. He's pretty exhausted.
He ran for a lot of the day, so that, I bet.
Tim
You
will
had a
also be
leg
hitting
day, buddy.
Yeah,
Big
he
leg
didn't
day.
skip leg day today.
Leg and, what do you call it?
Cardio?
Cardio, yeah. I was like, aerobics. No, that's not right. Okay, Tim?
Tim will also be hitting the hay.
Which means I need Mary's perception check for her first 2 hours watch.
Yep. Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Let me find my person. 24.
You guys are on the road. You have first watch. So,
Oh, and then she also has that dark vision.
she has what now?
The dark vision.
The dark vision. Where exactly are you posted up for your watch?
Okay, hold on. Let me, like, look at the map.
Yeah, with just like, just in reference to like the tree line and the road. The wagon's not really there. That's your campsite. But
Mary, is this like, hold on. How do I do the point thingy?
tab click.
Right here. Is this like a high point?
Yeah, it's like a
Could Mary
collection
climb
of
up
boulders.
there
It's
and-
like a landmark, basically.
Could she climb up there and sit and just kind of watch around?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
That's what Mary's gonna do. Let me find Mary. Oh wait, how do I get out? There we go. There's the grip. Oh, that's Art. Where's Mary?
She's right.
There we go. Boop. Sit up there and watch.
2 hours pass, and we'll call it like the midnight to 2 in the morning, the like 1 to 3 chunk of time, and visibility is low, but you do have your low light vision. There is a little. Well, let me check the date actually. Yeah, there is still some moon in the sky because it is still waning from its blood moon status. And you see the occasional rustle in the trees. There are no passengers on the road, but you do see the familiar yellow glint of eyes for just a moment, and then they were gone.
She's like, what direction?
I'm sorry, from the tree line.
Okay. Mary's gonna wobble back. Oh, do we have a lizard figure?
Yeah, he's over here.
Oh, okay. Mary's gonna waddle kind of her ass back once her turn is done.
At the end of the 2 hours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna like wake up the lizard folk.
Yep.
And she's gonna
as you approach him, he like shifts his weight and rolls over, and you can see that in his right arm or his right hand, he is like clutching a dagger in his sleep.
Mary's gonna go, hey. She ain't gonna touch him, she's just gonna keep going, hey. You.
And you don't even have to say it the second time. After the first hey, you know, his eyes like flick open, and the second lens pulls back, and as soon as the slit of his lizard eyes focus on you, he like bolts upright, head to the left, head to the right, looks at you, like assesses you, says, "It is my shift."
Yeah. Full warning. Keep an eye on the tree line over there, Mary's gonna point. I saw like a glimmering, kind of like an eye. It was there, closed, it was gone. But there's a good chance we're being watched by something. I couldn't tell if it was like animal or not, but just in case, keep an eye out over there.
And he puts the dagger on his belt, and he lost his primary weapon in the wake of the battle, but he bares his claws and pulls his lips back for his teeth and says, "They can watch these sparkle in the firelight," referring to his claws and his teeth. And he makes his way over to the same post that you were on, and sits and just watches the tree line, just sitting there totally still.
Mary's gonna, before she's gonna go to bed, she's gonna say, hey.
Yes.
What's your name?
And you see the smallest corner of a smile come across him and say, "I wondered if any of you would ever ask." And
Don't worry, we're kind of bunch of idiots. Don't worry.
Give me just a second. He absolutely has a name. I wrote it down ahead of time and everything.
It's Robert.
He says, "I am," or he says, "My people call me Jux."
Jocks.
Well, nice to officially meet you, Jocks. And Mary's gonna go and get back to go to bed.
And before you go back to go to bed, he says, "Names are usually given in exchange for names." You haven't told him your
Mary's
name.
gonna look back and she's gonna go, well, I go by many names, but my friends call me Mary. Mary Plumbottom.
And he nods and and then turns his head back to the tree line to for his watch.
And she's gonna go to bed.
Cool. I need to know what all of your guys' perception scores are.
Oh.
Before you add anything to it.
8.
I totally forgot where to find it. Oh wait, never mind. Okay, I'm a dumb. Okay, 7.
Mary?
10.
Let's see here. About. So, Mary, you feel the first rays of sun hitting your face, and this wakes you up.
Oh, shit.
And you sit up and you look around, and you see your compatriots here with you. The lizard folk is gone, as is the chestnut horse.
No.
Mary's gonna immediately. Can I do a survival check to find horse tracks?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I gotta get up higher that way. That way I can actually see if I'm putting the dice in the thing. Okay. Not too bad. 15.
Yeah, that's for sure enough to find 2 sets of tracks, a horse set and a large set, which you assume to belong to your lizard folk companion, to Jux, and you can see that they lead away from the campsite to the road at what appeared to be a walking pace. And then it's a road, so before too long you lose the track, but it headed north back towards Ruinswick in the same direction you guys are going.
Mary, seeing this, is gonna try to get on the horse.
The one that's left?
Yeah.
Because it's fun, I want you to roll me an acrobatics check, especially if you're trying to do this without waking your compatriots.
Oh, shit! I fell out the tower.
Automatic fail on your acrobatics.
Mac.
Although it looks, what's your final?
14.
You are able to get on the horse, but not quietly. Corbin, who is closest to you, begins to stir, and he opens one eye sleepily and looks at you, and he's like, "Hey, you're not the lizard. Why are you on the horse? Where's the other horse?" And this
He's
talking,
gone.
this talking
Mary's
does wake up the other two of you, as Corbin's just using his regular voice to talk to Mary.
Mary's gonna go, "He's gone. He's taking the horse. One of you get on. We're going after him. The other two get to walk. Pick."
Take Corbin. He's lighter. You'll go faster.
Corbin, get on. And she's gonna reach her little tiny ass hand.
And Corbin's struggling with his arm apparatus, which he obviously does not sleep in, and is trying to get it put on. And he grabs it in his good hand and runs over to Tim and holds it out to him.
He's giving him the arm.
Yeah, but he's turning his stump side to you. It's clear he wants help putting this on.
Yeah, Tim is going to just bat the last of that sleep off his eyes, and then just help him put it on.
Mary, you gonna wait the probably 45 seconds to a minute it takes to do this?
In the meantime, she is going to cast Speak with Animals.
Oh, nice! Okay. Oh, that is so cool! Alright. Okay, hold on. I gotta get my clock up.
Okay, let me know when we're good.
How long do you have now?
I have 6 minutes.
Which will probably be more than enough time, but just in case.
Oh, definitely.
Your spell... Oh, hold on. Before we get going on that, does Art or Tim have any dialogue before we start timing stuff?
I'm just gonna say God damn it.
Art's kind of have the same reaction, just oh gosh, and as he's it's just because he's really tired, but
and Art, your stomach, you wake up starving. You're your stomach is growling, howling at you.
Oh no.
Yes.
Yeah, he hasn't had his breakfast yet.
And you did a lot of exercise yesterday, my friend.
Oh man, Art is just gonna kind of be settle down. We'll get some food in a bit.
Just talking to himself, patting his stomach.
Yeah.
Okay, Mary, thank you for being patient. You cast, while all this is happening in the background, Speak with Animals. And the horse...
When did you see the lizard leave with your friend?
Right. Not too long after you went to sleep.
Do you think you could catch up to him?
He's younger and faster.
Mary's gonna go, yeah, but it's the old who are wiser. And she's gonna kind of rub his neck and be like, if you can get to him, pat it. She's like, I can get you all the apples you want.
Your choice of a diplomacy or an animal handling.
Diplomacy, definitely.
Cool.
And Mary devoted some animal handling because of her fat ass raccoon, but
yeah.
19.
And the horse. and he gets down and like lays down on the ground, presumably so that you can get on top of him because he can see how short you are.
Mary was already up.
Oh, I guess you did because you rolled the acrobatics check.
He could get down for Corbin. He could be like, I can see how scrawny this.
Okay, and so he says, "Okay, are we going?"
Mary's like, we all wait for this one. Corbin, hurry up!
And as you know, Tim like cinches the last leather strap and buckles the final buckle. You know, you see the arm like spring to life. Corbin's elbow like pops out. You know, and like comes back in as like, you know, as he like rotates his shoulder. Thanks, Tim. And he like goes and runs over and like hops up on the horse behind Mary.
And Mary's gonna pet the horse, and she's gonna go, I trust you. Run like the wind, and bam! And start running.
Nice. And the horse fucking takes off. I do need you to roll me an animal handling check for how quickly you can manage to ride this horse. So Mary, your guys' last horse, and Corbin have like taken off the road. You guys also. What's up, Swade? How's it going? I missed your face. I saw that you were doing some hiking with some of our friends, and you made a squirrel friend. Glad to have you in the stream, bud. Your compatriots have gone. You know, you guys know that you have met this lizard folk. You know, the sole survivor of the logging camp massacre, and you know, had traveled back to the road with him, started the process of camping, woke up, and he and one of the horses were gone. Mary woke up, exclaimed that he was gone and it was where the horses, and she needed to go after him. And the two of them bolted off, leaving Art and Tim to like pack up camp and like do whatever the fuck they're gonna do. Mary, what was the result of your check, just real quick?
Mary rolled a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay, I will narrate that to you as soon as I'm done with the boys.
Could since Mary has technically 6 minutes, could a couple minutes in she talk to the horse again?
Yeah, for sure. I will. You still have 2.5 minutes on the clock, so I will up that to 4, and we'll call that what's left of your spell.
Okay.
Okay, so Art and Tim.
Yeah.
With them like having like gone off, Tim's just gonna be like, "Come on, let's get this stuff up," and then he's just like, you know, we'll roll some of the stuff up. We'll carry, you know, logger style. We'll just one end. You're on one end. We run it one armed.
Art's gonna be alright. Sounds good. As he then starts to get ready.
So you guys are basically like half packing up camp and sharing the load and just sprinting after them.
Yeah.
Acrobatics checks for both of you because there is no athletics. Or alternatively, you could take a straight strength check. It's totally up to you.
This is just colorful commentary. I'm eating peanuts and I didn't realize I was sitting on one, so I just got a nice toasted nut. Or well, a warm nut. I feel like I'm on an airplane flight.
You said acrobatics?
That's right. Or a strength, whatever you want.
It's 12 plus 7. It's
19.
19?
Yeah.
It was about to be a nat 20. Now it's a 6.
Yeah. Art is starting to get pretty frustrated before too long with like Tim's sorry fucking pace behind him. He's like dropping shit and having to like stop to collect it, and Art knows that, you know, he can't carry everything by himself, and so he's, you know, like stuck with him, but it's not a real impressive pace you guys are making.
Tim is just like, you know, he's losing a spoon to pick it up, and like he's losing a pen. It's just like my copper pants. And then, you know, after a bit, you know, they fall in a couple times, and he's gonna lose some of his own personal, like his pans and stuff too. You know, try to help lighten the load.
Okay, I can respect that. Do you have
Hide it
inspiration?
in a bush, come back for it later.
What's up?
Do you have
I
inspiration?
said hide it in a bush, come back for it later.
Oh, that's good too.
I do not have inspiration.
Take it. That's a great. If you're also remove whatever gear you're losing from your character sheet.
I'll just do minus cooking utensils.
Okay. That seems like a fair trade. Swade, you gotta get me in my cabin next time. Yeah. Trust me, I need to do a workout trip just anyway. See you guys. Okay, so you guys have lightened the load, and you guys are kind of trudging along behind Mary and Corbin, who are on the older horse, chasing after the younger horse. But if what the horse told you, Mary, is true, and he left basically right after you went to sleep, then you figure he had to have left 4 or 5 hours ago. So I will say that before you get too far, and we'll go ahead and flip back to you, and I am starting your 4-minute clock now.
Mary is going to kind of be talking and holding on to the horse and tell him, like, when you see the other horse, can you convince him to stop?
And the old horse says, young horses are so wild. He says, I can certainly try.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to talk to you for much longer. You can tell him about our apple deal, if that will get him to stop.
And he says, okay, I will do that.
Corbin, got any comments on this?
He has like witnessed this before. He was actually lobby just dropped, but that's okay because we're not in the middle of combat or anything. You guys don't need the map. Create multiplayer.
We can still see it.
It'll kick you guys out here in a second. You might as well just leave. Autosave. Okay, the game is back up. And if you guys are unable to join for whatever reason, I will just close out tabletop and we'll restart it. Cool, I say 2 for 3.
Mine's loading. It takes a minute.
Okay, that's more than fair. You still have some time with the horse if you want it.
Have a question I want to ask, but it feels like it might be racist to a horse.
Keep in mind that horses have no concept of prejudice or racism, so at least the horse won't know you're being racist. Speciesist.
That's true. Mary's gonna ask, and she's like, while I have you here, I kind of have a question that I wondered if you might know.
And the horse, I know about where the best grass is, and the fastest plains to run in, and the freshest streams. What would you like to know?
Okay, I thought of a better question. There's the funny one or the other one. I'm gonna let Andreas and Daniel vote. Do I go funny or do I go serious?
Funny.
You could do both.
I could do both. Okay, we'll go funny first. And she was like, have you ever met a centaur?
And he says, what's a centaur?
It's like they have like horse legs, but the torso of a person.
And the horse, said, it would be, that doesn't sound possible. Your upper half is too small.
Yeah, it's weird. Taking that as a no. What about goblins?
And the horse like skids to a stop and starts like looking around nervously. And where do you see them? Are they around us?
No, I just wanted to know if you had seen any. Keep running.
And assuming that you dig your heels in, the horse takes back off again.
Yeah.
You still have like a minute? No, actually, you have like 30 seconds.
He's going, okay, I'm not going to be able to talk to you for much longer, for really the rest of the day. Would you see that horse? I need you to start screaming and yell at him, convince him any way possible, tell him about our apple deal. You can do this.
I do certainly love apple. And he goes back to being a horse. Or sounding like a horse to you.
Mary's gonna go. As they're running, and she's like, "Okay, Corbin, how are you doing?"
Corbin's gonna be like, it's just so weird to listen to you do that.
He's like, "I know. It's weird too. He's gonna tell us if he spots the horse. I have a deal with the horses. We're gonna get them apples."
And he says, okay, wait, he's gonna tell you? Can't you only do that for not very long?
Well, yeah, he's gonna like start making a bunch of noise and everything.
Corbin's like, okay, I mean, that's really all horses do, right? Is make a bunch of noise. But okay, yeah, sounds good, sure.
Okay. And Mary's gonna kind of take hold of the reins and just try to go as fast as physically possible.
Yup. Oh, thanks, baby. I just got delivered dinner, so I will probably be taking a moment to nosh on that as time goes on. But okay, so I guess we can just do time lapses now. Let's flip back to the guys. You guys have traveled for like a couple of hours now. You've hit the first like proper campsite, and Mary is nowhere to be seen. The other horse is nowhere to be seen. The lizard folk is nowhere to be seen. What's your guys' game plan? Just gonna kind of keep on keeping on.
You want to split a ration?
Did you say if you want to split a ration?
Yeah.
Art's gonna kind of go back to his stomach, making the ground. He's gonna be like, yeah.
Okay, and like I'm assuming they haven't stopped. They're still still trotting along. So Tim just reaches with his free hand into his bag, pulls one out, rips it in half with like his mouth and hand, and then just like tosses the other half to him.
Art's just gonna be very thankful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything for you, friend. And then as he continues to run.
Alright, yeah, Art will continue to run while eating.
I want a Constitution save from both of you to see how long you can keep up your running pace and how far it gets you. Basically, how much time you're shaving off your journey.
I thought you were gonna be like, let's see if they cannot choke.
No, I mean, thanks, man.
Twins. We both
7. But plus my Constitution is 7.
5.
Yeah, you guys are like carrying this like load of stuff, and like Mary's not carrying her shit, and Corbin's not carrying his shit, and one of you is not the most athletic anyway, and both of you are, Art is super tired from his run the day before, and Tim is strong but not particularly coordinated, and this journey normally takes like roughly 10 hours, and you guys, shaved it all the way down to 8 with your uptick of speed. But you're still looking to pull into town there. Let's see, you left at like 8 in the morning. Another 8 hours would be 12. It's like 4 in the afternoons when you guys are on track to get to Ruinswick. But flipping back, you guys split up. Mary and Corbin, you guys passed the first campsite in like 20, 30 minutes, and then you pass the next campsite a couple hours later, and I want to know if you stop at any point to like look for the trail, or if you're just gonna ride this road till you get to Ruinswick.
Mary is going to do like stop, glance around, kind of, just in case she sees them.
Mm-hmm.
She is also relying a bit on the horse here, if like he sees the horse, that kind of thing.
Right. Okay, so then roll me just a quick survival check.
No. Where is my survival? 1, 2, 3, 4. 12.
You see lots of horse tracks, wagon tracks. You can't really pick anything out. But you throughout this whole course of road, there have been at least a few sets of horse tracks which are fresh, and you just assume that one of those sets belongs to the lizard folk on the chestnut horse. Um, are you going to stop at a campsite, do anything before you hit Ruinswick?
No.
Okay, then you hit Ruinswick. Your animal handling check was a dirty 20, is that right?
Huh.
You hit Ruinswick in like 3.5 hours. You have more than cut this time in half, and that's about your expectation for a horse. Usually it doesn't quite cut the time in half. An 8 to 10 hour walk is usually like a 5 or 6 hour. If you're not trying to kill the horse riding it. But you have ridden this horse hard. This horse has rolled exceptionally well on his acrobatics checks, and has managed to hold up through this. And probably early afternoon, you guys begin to see those familiar, as you pass the last campsite, you begin to see those familiar farms on either side of the road, and you know that you are, about 10 minutes outside of Ruinswick. What is your plan? Where are you going?
Her plan is kind of just to run in and immediately go towards the guild.
Okay.
And can she make a perception check or something to be looking around for jocks?
Yeah, he is a lizard folk, so he would definitely stick out. You did not see any lizard folk in. No, I take that back. I think there was one lizard folk who was in the Rusty Hand Axe the first night you guys stopped in. But he would definitely stick out here. So I won't even make you roll. You see no lizard folk on your way, because you would be, in theory, be coming up the main road to the south, past the armory, the windmill, and then up into the square where the guild is. So all the way up to the guild hall doors, you do not see jocks.
Okay. Well, let's hope he's there when we get there.
You definitely are there first. You're going to have a lot of time before these guys get here. So if you want to walk through the doors, that's totally up to you. I just try not to rush people into situations.
Yeah, Mary's just going to bust in the door.
And as you kick these heavy wooden doors, your gnome stature only allows for the door to creak open, 3 or 4 feet, more than enough room for you and Corbin to slide through. But it's a big, heavy door, so kicking it down is not super viable.
I imagine Mary tried to kick it, and it's a pull, not a push.
No, it's definitely
kick, falls back.
Oh man.
Okay.
And as you step through, as a reminder, this is. Do I have I feel like I have a map for this. Woods. Guild.
I think we do. I think it may have been a tavern.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was a repurposed tavern.
Okay, if it was a repurposed tavern, then I don't need to load an interior or something that's not specifically what you're walking into. But as a reminder, it's like a long building with a long green runner carpet, and a big symbol of the Woodsman's Guild, and the colors of Ruinswick on either side, and seated at the end of the runner at a big at 3 sets of tables set up like a U shape are 2 individuals. Let's see here. It's a human, a dwarf, another human, and then the orc who has been your primary point person who you like signed the contract with and was like the one who set the terms and everything. And standing behind the table is Jocks.
Mary's gonna look at him and be going, "Really, Jocks? Really?"
And let's see here. The orc, like is like patiently cleaning his spectacles, and he puts them back on, and he says, Jocks has had a very interesting tale for us.
I bet he. And Marion is gonna stop mid-sentence and go, "Oh shit!" And she's gonna be like in a squatting position.
And Corbin's like not familiar with this body language, so he's just kind of like looking nervously at you.
Oh! And she's just gonna be grabbing onto her hips, and she's like, "Oh shit!" As she's kind of like squatting, because like we gotta remember she's like 180. She 100% has like arthritis or some shit.
Yeah.
And she's just been on horseback for at least like 3 to 4 hours.
Yep, for sure.
And she's just gonna be like, "Fuck," and just fall over, and her legs are gonna give out.
And Corbin's gonna be like, "Oh my god," and like get down and try to like help you up. Nobody behind the table reacts. And Corbin like sits you back up, and you guys are still. You have not closed the gap yet. There's still a long, like hallway or a long chamber in front of you. Probably like 100 feet or so of space between you and the table. But Corbin stands you up, and you just see everyone focused on you, and the dwarf who, like, looks super agitated. Red in the face. Puffed up cheeks. He just out with it already.
What'd you say?
Out with it already.
Mary's gonna be like, "I will in a minute. I have arthritis."
That doesn't affect your voice!
Mary's gonna look at him and be like, "First off, fuck you. Second off, I'll tell you our side, but can I have a chair? Because I really can't move."
And there are like chairs and benches that are like lining like the sides of the chamber, and Corbin like immediately like rushes over to one and like picks up a chair and like carries it over to you and like sets it down next to you.
Okay. And Mary's gonna get in the chair and she's gonna go, "First off, Jocks, do you still have Chestnut?"
And he says, "That is not your concern anymore."
Mary's gonna look and go, "Yes, it is, because that horse belongs to a little boy, and that's his favorite horse, and if we don't get it back to him..." Mary's gonna like not say it, but she's gonna be like, "That'll be like the end of his world."
And Jocks, just kind of scoffs. And the orc, who has always had like a really tempered demeanor with you, you see him like pull out the contract that you guys had signed, and say, "Wonderful." It's like, "So what is your side of the story, Mary?"
Okay. She's gonna go, "Okay, yeah, I get it. Fake names, all that." She's gonna go, "Okay, is there a specific place we want to start out here?"
And one of the kind of like snooty human who often doesn't look up from his work in order to respond to you is like, he's like looking at a parchment and he like flicks his eyes up and says, "The beginning is usually the best place."
Okay, so we want to start when we first came in, got the contract, or like when we first got there. That's what more of I meant.
And he rolls his eyes and sighs. And he says, "We know you got the contract. You were here for it, and so were we."
I know. Just checking. Okay. Mary's gonna sit there and go, "As you know, we got a contract with you guys. Charas had sent us down here to get a contract with you. That will come into play later, but just remember, that is how we got to this point. We went to them. At that point in time, there was a guy there, and he was like, Jox can tell you more about him since we only got to meet him a few times.
He says,
But
yes, we've heard all about Gundar.
Yeah. He was doing the whole thing of, like, pretending to be, I guess, like, a human. He was disguised goblin workers in the cages. We don't really know what they were doing yet, but we have a feeling that they were kidnapping people and possibly doing some sacrifices similar to what was happening around the time of the blood moon. Basically, that goes down. Gundar got discovered. We went after him. Got at least killed him, killed the others. Were not able to cut off their ears due to this next part, which is kind of going back to the beginning. Do you remember the evil necromancer that showed up the day after the blood moon?
And the like agitated dwarf. Do we remember? And you know the orc like, it's like calm down. Yes, of course we remember. He says you all are very lucky to have gotten a contract from us despite your involvement.
Yeah, I understand. She's gonna look at him and be like, I get it. It's a complicated story, but let's get back to the point. He shows up. His goblin horde grabs the bodies before we can even get their ears cut off or anything. We had one. Charas had us come out here to get a goblin because, you know, the other guy,
the conspirer,
has, like,
the like snooty one, just kind of like without looking up, the conspirer.
Yeah, the conspirer. His name is Tim. Basically, he, I guess the nicest way, has been cursed. And this guy keeps following him around. If Tim so happens to walk by a dead body, Caloral shows up. That's the necromancer. That's what happened the night of the blood moon. At that point, we didn't know that was happening, like, to the fullest extent what was going on until we got to talk to Charas, because how much time would it have been since we met in the bar?
Since you guys met in the bar, I can tell you exactly. It was 23 days ago.
About 23 days ago was the first time my group met. There was a fight that broke out in this bar. We were helping someone because they were being attacked. And this guy shows up, Calro. We didn't know him at this point. We didn't know what he was about, anything. And he was handing this barmaid this coin. Like, you guys all saw what happened with Tim, where he was handing him a bag of coins. He was doing the same thing to her. And she was really freaked out, crying, all that. And so Tim, not really thinking about what that coin would be, took it instead of her and kind of got cursed. Charas was having us get a goblin so we could kill it near his tower. Calora would show up real quick, take the goblin, like he does, and Charas could pinpoint the location, which he did. What had happened was one goblin had got away when we were in that forest.
And you get cut off. And where exactly is the location of this being of ultimate terror?
Can Mary do a wisdom check to remember the exact thing? I remember it was the Icy Mountains.
Yeah, if you remember the Icy Mountains, you have two choices. It's either the far north of this continent or the far south of the other continent.
Can I do a wisdom check?
Yeah, you can do a wisdom check.
Okay. I'll take wisdom check for 500, please.
Yep.
Okay, Mary's dumb. She don't know.
Yeah, she remembers the Icy Mountains, and that's all.
She's like, all I know is it's Icy Mountains. When my compatriots get back, they can tell you specifics. He's in the Icy Mountains. That's all I really, really got from that conversation. But when we were in the woods after chasing Gundar, killed them, we had gotten one of them far enough. They had ran off. Me and one of the other guys had come with us. We'd got her, but because she wasn't in Caloral's like line of sight, he didn't see her. We got her, brought her back to Chara's, performed that, and that's how he located her. When we had gone back to the loggers camp, we had asked them to come with us, because at this point, this is bigger than all of us, because obviously previously my group had run into a situation where there was ritual sacrifice before the blood moon. You can ask Charas. We saved a friend of his named Fareed from being ritually sacrificed to this one Hagragash.
And at Hadragash's name, the like snooty human who has never once given you anything near full attention sets his scroll down and like places his hands over it and like slowly like lifts his head up and doesn't say anything, but lifts his head up at you. And like Mary, I'll just give this to you. You can kind of like read the rest of the room, and they all like subtly react and like almost flinch in response to this. And you can hear like a super like controlled metered tone in the orc's voice as he addresses you and says, "You've saved someone from sacrifice to Hadragash, you say. How do you
Yes.
know it was in sacrifice to Hadragash? Goblins are cruel and violent creatures who delight in gruesome violence for the sake of brutal violence."
Charas helped us figure that out. When we were there, the way I can describe it is there was a cave. We went in, and he is tied up on a like ceremonial, like stone kind of bed almost. And we were able to pick up things, and there was a letter. And Mary still has this letter at this point. Because I know I've kept it. I haven't thrown it away.
Yep.
And she's going to take it out.
Yep.
And she's going to say this, which I can read now because I speak Goblin.
Yep.
Talks about it. And Charas confirmed it with us that that's what it was about, and that happens a lot with the blood moon. That's why we kept trying to tell them, we need to go, we need to go, we need to go. We couldn't tell them everything because of everything that's going on. It's kind of hard to be like, oh yeah, this is every little detail, because we don't know what's really happening. They decided to stay. They didn't come with.
The orc holds out his hand. I didn't want to interrupt you, but you're going. He holds out his hand at the note and says, "May I?"
Yes. And she's gonna give it to him.
And he like glances at it and like reads it. You know, you just like see his like lips moving. You know, as he's like reading quietly to himself. And I'm assuming that you're like giving that exposition in the background.
Yeah.
And then he like goes to hand it to the dwarf, and he like looks at it for a second, and he like spits on the ground. He's like, "Oh bloody hell! You know I can't read this!" And he like throws it back at the orc, who interrupts you and says, "May I?"
Yes.
And he, you know, it's clear that like Goblin is not a language he uses very often, but he like stumbles through the letter. Boss says he doesn't need you back until sky with full moon. Keep a lookout for wolves and valuables, and keep up the work of Hadragash in the meantime. Don't be late. With blood on my blade, Oz. And you know, and again at Hadragash's name, you know, there's like a stillness which, you know, goes across like everybody else is, you know, even the agitated dwarf, he's still definitely agitated, but he seems very interested in getting to the bottom of this. And the human, the snooty human, you know, speaks to you and says, "This is an interesting complication." And he says, "Do you remember precisely where this altar was?"
I don't, but my Tim, the guy, he has things like written down. He has a journal with like maps and stuff, and could like point you to it.
And He says, and I assume they will be joining you in a few hours, seeing as they are walking. And he just like flashes a glance over to Jocks.
And Mary's gonna nod her head and say, yeah. But and she's gonna look at him and be like, I am genuinely like sorry that all of this ended up with the loggers dying. They seem like nice people. Tim, I'm gonna tell Sam this, and you guys, I'd rather you not talk to him about it. But like, he went through there, like buildings burning, smoke ablaze, trying to find people, and that's the only reason we found Jocks was because he was like gun ho set on finding someone to at least make up for it. This wasn't something of like, we left you guys there because we didn't care. We were in an emergency situation with Charas. We needed to get to the bottom of this for the safety, not only ourselves, but like everyone in this town. And we just were not convincing enough for you guys.
Thanks for stopping by. Okay. So, God, let me think here. I gotta be 4 people at once right now, so you gotta give me just a second. And they all have distinct personalities and responses to this. Okay, so I guess 5. Jocks, for one of, says, contributes to the conversation and says, he did save me. This much is true. And, the orc turns to him and says, I have a way of reading people, and I sensed he was not as bad as he seemed. And he like shoots a sideways glance to the dwarf, who's just like, Mary can catch like the hintest little bit of like mocking in him, like where you but like under his voice, and can tell it's like a mocking tone kind of thing. And the orc turns to Mary and says, we would be interested in speaking with Tim again.
I honestly think he'd be very interested in speaking with you, but him and Art should be getting here in like a couple hours, probably. Mary's gonna kind of look up to them. In the meantime,
that's good, Token. What up?
I was like, I'm dead serious about getting those horses back to those kids. Like, he loves those horses. Would it be okay if at least one of us goes take the horses back to him?
And at this, the snooty human like picks up his work again and isn't paying any more attention to you. And the orc says, we don't really deal with those kinds of disputes. That's between you, Jocks, and the owner of the horses.
Mary's gonna look at Jocks and be like, please.
And Jocks is just going to like grin at you without saying anything. Very toothy, alligator-style grin. And he like leans back, crosses his arms, like leans against the wall behind the table of the Woodsman's Guild, and it seems to be the lizard equivalent of a smirk. But he does not say anything.
Gonna look at him and be like, okay, Jocks, I'm just gonna let you know. I don't get that horse back, I'm gonna kill you. And she's looking at him dead serious, and she's like, I'm not kidding. I am not playing. I made a promise to that little boy. I promised him I was getting him that horse back. He's getting that horse back. I talked to that horse not more than a few hours ago. I'll talk to that horse again. I don't care how I find it. If that horse is dead, it's your ass.
Okay, and with that, we are going to take a 5-minute break because I need to take a couple minutes to think about how these guys are going to react to this. So we're going to take a little break. I got to pee anyway. We'll be back in like 5 minutes, and we will continue the like showdown between Mary, the 2-foot old lady gnome, and the like council of lumberjacks, basically. This is going off the fucking rails, guys. All right, so it is 7:47 right now. We'll call it like by 7:55. I'll be back. Probably before then. About 5 minutes. Be right back,
Okay.
guys.
Sounds good. Here, I gotta go take Ren outside.
my audio back. Okay. Hey guys, I am back. Is everybody else back?
Looks like Andreas is muted.
Okay, so he's probably still wrapping up. He still has a minute. No big deal. He also does not need to be here. His character is not interacting right now. So
We still running.
yeah, so
Or-
you guys are still catching up.
Cut to Tim and Art.
Okay, so Mary has just threatened. Soda's back. Excellent. Thank you, Soda, for letting us know that you're back. I really appreciate you being here and being back. I really do. That's not sarcastic. It's not sarcastic at all. Okay, so Mary has just threatened the life of Jocks, the sole surviving member of the logging town, whom she and your party were contracted to go and protect vis-a-vis killing a bunch of goblins and bringing back their ears. In the presence of his bosses and the people who gave you the contract, in Ruinswick, a big logging town, over a horse which she has no paperwork for. I want to make sure that is. I want to preface what's about to happen with that.
Yeah, no, I get it, Dave. You're good.
Okay.
Mary, I know what I'm going in on this.
So Jocks says, "See how quickly she turns against us. She threatens my life."
Mary goes, I threatened the person who stole my horse in the middle of the night after saying, oh yeah, don't worry guys, I'll walk, I'll take a watch too, watch for goblins so we don't all get killed. You took a horse of my friend's, that little boy who lives down the road. That's his favorite horse. And I'm getting that horse back for him.
And Jocks, to flee from those of you in league with this necromancer. And the snooty human says, I have heard enough. And he casts Hold Person on both Mary and Corbin. And in this space, his magic is particularly strong because he has enchanted this place. This is his home. This is his place of business. And Mary and Corbin both find themselves unable to move, unable to talk, and they see the grumpy-looking dwarf get down off his chair and with immense amounts of satisfaction gag both of them, put hoods over their faces, tie them up, and they feel themselves being carried off to some other location.
Can Mary make any attempt to fight against this?
She can. You can make an escape artist check, but not while you're under the influence of Hold Person, which you currently are.
I mean, an escape artist or can she use the ghost sound?
No, those have verbal and somatic components, which means you need to say words and move your hands, neither of which you can do under the effects of Hold Person, nor while gagged and bound.
Okay, okay. When I'm out, can I try to do an escape artist?
Yeah, for sure. When the spell wears off, absolutely. Okay. Which brings us to our other two gentlemen who show up in town. 3:30, 4 o'clock. Exhausted. Probably a little bit grumpy. And generally not super pleased with the pace that they made. But they arrive at Ruinswick, and as you guys make your way past the armory, you do recognize one of the two guards as the one who shook you down that one night.
Wait, I'm sorry, what was that?
As you guys come up the southern road, and you make your way past the armory, which is always guarded by a couple of residents.
Oh.
You recognize one of them as the one who shook you down the night that you fought the wargs and limped away with, a few hit points apiece. and stole your
Those
rations
bastards.
and, took the rubbing of Tim's notebook.
All those bastards. Um.
Come on, Art, let's walk quickly. We do not need any more attention.
Uh.
Are you looking at him? Longer than like a glance?
Tim,
I
no.
know Art is he's still pretty like upset about the whole ordeal.
And you hear him, say pretty loudly to the other guard, "Hey, I'm kinda hungry. I wonder if anybody around here's got some food." And he gives you a wink.
uh.
He's being nice, Art. He's being nice. He's being friendly. He's being friendlier than he was before. You'll be fine, Art.
It's up to you, Art. However you want to react, bud. This is all you.
Art's just gonna give him an up yours sign
Like
as
flip
he's
off?
walking away. No, not flipping off, just like the when you put your hand on your bicep with your other arm sticking up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you see him do the like a fake like shaking in his boots, like ooh, but he doesn't leave his post or chase you down or anything. He's just mocking you.
Art's just gonna be like, let's go. I can't. Freaking deal with him later.
Oh, love it. Okay, so you guys make your way past the armory, the windmill, and into town center. You pass the rusty hand axe, and you can see that in the last few days, its doors have been repaired, and it is actually like got it like looks like a building, a patched up ramshackle building, but it looks like a building again.
Yeah. Art will say, "Man, they really fixed this place up." Oh, at least from once we last saw it.
Tim's like looking over as they're passing, like, yeah, they did. Good for him.
And as if it wasn't enough to be harassed by one person today, one of the mercenaries from out front of the Shaded Chestnut call out at the two of you. "Oh, you finally ditched those filthy non-humans, huh? Good for you guys!" And they give you like a thumbs up.
You defend my ass.
Tim is exhausted.
I know, they're like,
Defend my
I'm
ass
trying,
still.
like, yeah, I was trying to think, like, what Art would do. Like, he's just tired. Like, if he was,
Fuck off.
if he had a full breakfast, got rest, I feel like he would have done something. Right now, he's not in good fighting shape.
It's misattributed friendliness, but it is friendliness nonetheless. Tim is exhausted.
And that's questionable because they've definitely the guards, out front the Shaded Chestnut definitely have like frat guy energy, like laughing and high fiving in response to the comment and stuff, and like they're definitely it was not super sincere.
No. Oh. This would absolutely ruin Tim socially if he said it, so I'm not gonna say it.
You know what Tim would do best, so
yeah, it's just like it's a thing of like, as Tim, would I want to say it? Maybe. If it was me in Tim's position, I would say it because no consequences. Tim would not say this. I was just thinking, like, your captain died in the blood. Just saying it.
Oh man!
But no.
You know what? Can Art say
that? I mean, would Art say that?
Yeah. I mean, he's already pissed off about the guys about his rations. He's not in a good mood right now.
People.
Let's see here. Tim, do you mind if Art said it's your line? You came up with it first. If you want to keep it for yourself, you can.
Tim's never gonna say it unless like they literally side with like evil people.
They side with
So-
Cap for all deals done.
Yeah. Yeah, Art, you can say it, just know it's probably gonna be bad.
And Art will say, after a response to them saying, "Oh, glad to see," or what they say, like, "Glad to see you got rid of the
you
non-humans."
finally got rid of those filthy non-humans.
And then Art will be like, "Oh, and it's cool that you guys got rid of your captain. Oh, wait."
And then immediately both their demeanors change. What the fuck did you just say? And they start making their way over to you guys.
Run!
We're running. We're running.
Where?
Let's go.
Where are you going? You gotta tell me.
Oh, yes. I guess. Shoot.
Oh, here, actually, hold on. Let me give you a little context. Let me try this.
Sorry, but
No, Mark.
You're fine. It makes it spicy.
Okay, so for a little bit of context, as a reminder, this inn is the Shaded Chestnut. You guys, are walking past this route here, and there's a couple of guards standing basically like on the porch of this building of the Shaded Chestnut, and so you guys are presumably making your way in. Let's see here. Where's the ones that I want? There's the Tim. There's the Art. Everybody. Oh no. Yeah, that's the Tim. That's the Art. You guys can wait. There we go. Okay, so you guys are roughly here. They are coming at you from the porch. They've started moving in your direction. What the fuck did you say? You guys are running. Where are you running?
to the rest of the handlers. Let's go.
Tim.
Maybe they won't. Maybe they won't follow us in there.
Oh God, that's Tim. Oh.
Tim, you only have a second to react, bud. Were you following him, or are you going in a different direction? You cut out if you think you responded.
Following him.
You're following him?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys run, throw open the doors, make your way into the rusty hand axe, and the door slams open, and it's the early afternoon, so there's a couple of patrons in here, but it hasn't really picked up yet. But everybody turns immediately to look at you guys, and Art sees Jakar standing behind the counter, and you see a grin start to come across his face, and then you see his eyes look over your shoulder, and Tim makes eye contact with Jakar, who immediately turns into a frown, and he stands up and slams his hands on the table, says, "You can't be here," pointing at Tim.
I guess Art will then just go to Jakar. Wait, hold on. Just hear us out.
In the race.
And Jakar says, "I don't have." He says, "We made a deal." He said, "Tim's not supposed to be in here anymore."
Tim is going to look out the door and see how far away the people are from the thing.
They're standing right outside the door.
Standing right outside the door.
Can Tim bull rush past them or something and just run out?
Give me a second. I'm going to use bandits just because I have them handy.
I guess. Oh no.
So they're leaned up against the chestnut, watching.
While all of this is
watching
happening,
the
I'm
door.
imagining Mary and Corbin in a prison cell just playing harmonicas.
Yeah, you guys are. Yeah, you guys don't know where you are yet. And
Okay.
I love it. Okay.
Okay, I guess Art will go ask Jakar, okay, sorry, we just need a quick place to we just need a quick place to stop for a bit. Do you know Mary and Corbin came by? Do you know where they're at?
Before Jakar gives you his response, Tim, are you mentioned trying to bull rush past these guys. Now that you know exactly where they are standing, you will not have to physically push past them, but they will both most definitely see you come out that door. Like you made eye contact with one of them when you looked.
Okay, no, I thought they were like at the doorway, looking behind him, grinning, and it's like, well, Tim's fucked. He got to run. If they're not approaching quite yet, he's just gonna be like looking at the door back and forth in the doorway.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 10 feet between the wall of the chestnut and the front door of the rusty hand axe, so they're not very far away. And it's clear that they're watching the door.
Yeah, I mean, until they start like approaching, Tim is gonna stand where he is because he also wants to he wants to hear what Art's gonna say.
Are you gonna keep the door open, or are you gonna what's your body posture right now?
Up against the door.
On the inside.
Something? Yeah, on the inside.
Okay, so the door would be closed then.
Yes.
Okay. So you can creak open the door, look out, make eye contact with one of these guys, see him leaning against the hand axe. You see him start to move, and you quickly close the door and press your back up against it. And Art has just gotten done, and he hears Art tell Jakar, wait, we just need somewhere to hold out for a while. Hear us out. And Jakar said, we made a deal. Tim's not allowed in here anymore.
And then Art will just say, just have you seen Mary or Corbin? They came into town. We're trying to look for them.
And says, no, I haven't seen them. He said, they're welcome here. He says, as are you when you're alone or with them.
And Art will just say, okay, look, we're just really trying to, oh man. Is it fine if we just stay for a couple of seconds just to figure out what to do, and then we'll get out of your hair? Because we don't really know where else to go to.
Roll diplomacy check.
Okay.
And what trinkets do you have in your bag that can get me out of this?
I know a trinket.
God damn it, I love it.
Oh, it was almost a 1.
Ooh.
It was almost a 1. Plus you said diplomacy.
Yeah.
8, 17 plus 8. That's 26. No, 25.
25. That's still a great roll. Jakar looks at you, and Tim can hear him, speaking low from the counter. He's still, at the door, but he hears Jakar's voice lowly say, "It will take." He said, "It would be quite generous of me to do that. What generosity do you have to show in return?"
Art will be like, God damn it. Let's see, then we'll pull out, let's see, how much gold do I have?
You guys just spent a bunch of money on your horses, so I don't know.
I know.
Mary will come back and buy liqueur.
I guess. Oh, because how much were the bottles there again? Because I don't want to give him too much. That would just be...
You bought a nice bottle of booze from him, I want to say, for 10 gold at one point.
Okay. So...
Maybe
Art will give him...
No, he gave you something that was worth 10 gold once. You never bought it. But that was the nice stuff. Remember you asked for a drink for the road?
Mm-hmm.
The first time he kicked Tim out, and he gave you a nice bottle?
Yeah. Okay. Art will give him 10 more gold.
And he looks at it, and he takes it, and you see him, take 2 of them and put them with the rest of the money for the till, and pocket the other 8, and then he pulls out a key and slides it across to you, and he says, "You both need to get upstairs now and get out of sight."
Art will take the key and he'll say, Thank you. Thank you. He's like, come on, Tim, let's go.
And he says, "Don't thank me. I don't want my customers seeing me serving him," and like gesture past you at Tim.
Bro, this hurts.
Tim's just getting roasted. He'll just Art will just nod his head and he's like, "Come on, let's go."
And,
Tim, what's your passive perception? It's 8.
8, yeah.
The words definitely hurt hearing it from Jakar. But you still have hope for your relationship. Something about the way he said it still gives you an inkling of hope for your future relationship with Jakar.
I'd like to think so. I saved his life.
Yeah, yeah. If you had rolled a real perception check on him, I might have more information for you. But for that, that's that. But I'm assuming that Art is gonna come back and try and rush you up the stairs. I could be wrong.
Yeah. I mean, well, Art's not really rushing him, but he's just kind of like, he's already headed towards it, and depending if Tim is still like down the stairs, he's just gonna kind of wave him like, "Come on, let's go." Not necessarily pushing him up.
Gotcha.
Upon hearing like the end of the conversation, plan was just have him like look over and nod to Jakar. So I do not know if he would have, if that would have been enough to get any more information out of him, out of that sentence or not.
No, but you see Jakar make eye contact with you very briefly, and then like nervously look around at the other few patrons who are like watching this whole exchange between you guys.
Tim is going to, give him that just like break eye contact.
You cut out just a little bit.
Just like give him that nod and then just like go follow Art up the stairs.
Cool, sounds good. And you guys are locking yourself in a room.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, this is not one of the rooms with the window. How long are you staying in this room?
Until we could think of a plan.
Okay, well, now's the time, guys. It's all you. So.
Okay. Art's just gonna go to. Okay, where do you think Mary and Corbin went?
We passed by the. Did we pass by the Woodsman's Guild or no?
No, you got like in this, like everything's in the square, like everything's
Okay.
right off the square, so you could like see it from where you were, but you got chased off basically out of the square and ran in the other direction.
Okay. Better question: would we have seen the horses if they were still there?
If you had looked for the horses, maybe.
Okay, so as far as we know, no.
As far as you know, no.
Okay. In that case, Tim's gonna be like, I imagine they were here several hours ago. They're probably with Chara's waiting for us.
You think they're with Chars?
Yeah. Even if they are, he's about the only safe place we have in town now.
That's true.
At least for me, you got options.
At least for me.
Cut to just Corbin and Mary crying in jail cells, like they're never gonna find us.
Corbin's fashioned himself a harmonica.
Mary has like a metal tan can, and she's running it up and down the things. They're playing music.
He's gonna run a perception and realize that his arm has like a Swiss Army thing with like a harmonica, a screwdriver, and a door opener.
Oh, yep. I love that. Not really, but not canon, but I do love that. Okay.
Yeah.
Tim and
okay.
fucking Art.
Okay, so Art will be like, okay, so we'll head up to Char's tower. How do we get past those guys?
I don't know, but I think if we could get alone with Jakar and not have anyone notice that he's talking to us, I think he'd help us.
Okay.
Ooh.
and I guess just stay up here. I'll try to talk to him, and so
No,
maybe.
before you do that, Tim is gonna like look around the room and see if there's any like spare clothes or everything or anything.
No, it's a normal room. So I mean, there's like linens on the bed, and there's like a washcloth next to the bucket, the basin of water that's in there. There's like a small chest of drawers and a chair, but there's not like, you open the chest of drawers and there's. Well, I guess I can do a check. No, there are no clothes or anything left in there.
Okay, Art.
Yeah.
And this is Andres asking Daniel.
Yeah.
Art has a mask. Is he wearing this all the time, or does he keep it down?
No, he keeps it down whenever like it's just normal. Like he has it down right now. He just keeps it up whenever like he's going to stealth or like into battle.
Okay. Did he have it up whenever he went into the jaded or the rusty hand axe?
I want to say no, but
Yeah.
like, are you thinking to dress up as Art?
I was
Are you
thinking.
thinking what I'm thinking?
I was
Makers.
I was thinking that one of us could change clothes to some degree and make us look slightly different, and it'd be easier if it was or if he had his mask up, because then no one sees the bottom half of his face.
Oh.
If only Mary has taught you how to apply Maybelline's cover-up and eyeshadow.
If only.
Y'all could have been ugly prostitutes.
Real ugly.
Shit.
Pulling a Mulan, dressing up like real ugly ladies.
Uh-huh.
But that's not you guys. You guys are in a hotel, an inn room, a tavern room.
Or how well can you hide someone's? How well can you hide how someone looks?
Me?
Yes, you are.
From a player's perspective, that would be the disguise skill on your character sheet.
Yeah, I didn't want to just say that.
I want Daniel to know what he's looking for before he answers your question, though.
Okay. Sorry. Let me check. I was just checking something. I heard. I didn't. My pets knocked something down, so I was just checking.
Oh yeah.
Miso going on a rampage.
No surprise. Well, not surprisingly, because she always lays down, but she's just laying down right now.
Fat ass.
Here, let me see the guy's skill. Ooh, I actually have a +7 in disguise.
Heyo.
Okay. If we mishmash our clothes, we shave my beard, my goatee, and my head. Do you think you can make me look like someone else?
Not Tim's iconic goatee.
What if your head is lumpy?
Oh, I love this. Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is delicious.
We could try.
That should be a clip. This is delicious.
Art will just be like, I think I can make it work. When he's kind of remembering of what Mary was doing, to, put makeup on him.
Uh-huh.
And he's kind of like, I think I got a general grasp.
Nothing crazy. We just switch some clothes around, mix and match some of ours, so there's no distinct person. I got the good stuff. I carry the good razors around with me, so we don't have to pour it out here with cheap stuff. We shave my head, we shave the beard, and I think we can do it.
We shaved the eyebrow.
Oh no! What eyebrows?
Oh my gosh, you're gonna look like Mr. Clean.
Or it's just gonna be like, I think I could do something, but are you sure you want to go through all that? Yeah, you have some.
They'll grow back. It'll start growing back pretty quickly.
Oh my god, they're gonna come and save Mary and Corbin, and we're not gonna know who the hell he is.
Oh man, this is.
Okay.
I love this. Okay. All right, continue, guys. Continue.
Okay. Art's just like, all right, let's do it.
Okay, Art,
Okay.
roll me a disguise check with advantage because Tim is willing to shave his goatee and his hair, so you can roll
Should
twice and take the higher result.
should I do it?
My only
Yeah.
requirement: use the mustache hairs to make eyebrows.
Wait, no. You should leave the mustache and become Walter White.
Oh man. No,
Use-
I
use-
think you should use the mustache hairs for eyebrows.
Yeah.
I think that's...
Yeah, I mean, it would work.
Do you have
Uh,
glue?
it's just I don't think so.
You could just say he has a condition.
You know, spit works as a glue for some hair for a little while.
I'm sure Tim can whip up a
I'm about to
alchemy
say,
check.
yeah, Tim could whip up. Like, glue is so
alright.
basic. I don't think Tim in this instance needs to. He's not being attacked. He's in a quiet environment. He has his tools. I'm gonna say Tim can just whip up, an incredibly small amount of glue, just enough to stick some shit to his eyebrows. That's not a problem.
Alright, Andre, since I'm doing this to you, I'll let you decide. Should I do the in-game dice or
This is
metal dice?
This is Tim's face. I think you need real dice.
Alright, I'll use the metal dice.
Then you
Can
are
we-
on your honor, sir. Go for it. Let's
Okay.
see. You
Can
can
we
take the
flip
higher
a
of the two.
coin?
Alright, here we go.
Coin to know if Tim's head is lumpy or not.
Ooh,
I mean, it's
okay.
Tim. Tim gets to decide if he has a lumpy head or not.
Okay.
If he doesn't care,
First-
sure.
First
He
roll
already-
was a 15.
Okay, he
First
already
roll's a
doesn't
15.
have
Okay.
eyebrows.
What's the
So
second?
7, so I'll stick with the 15.
15's great.
is that the final?
Plus my disguise modifier, which was 7, so that's
22.
22, yeah.
Okay. And as always, the person doing the work thinks they did a great job.
She's gonna be like, he's just gonna be like, and I'm almost done. He's barely putting the eyebrows on. He's not like, he takes a step back. He's gonna be like, wow.
I did amazing.
He's like, where did Tim go? Really giving himself confidence. Like, shoot, maybe I should disguise Corbin from now on.
Mary's gonna stab you if you try to take her job.
Oh man, I love this whole session so much. Oh man. Whew.
And Tim is just gonna like switch into mix and match some of his clothes. So he's gonna like lose some of the color, so it's like a newish outfit.
Here, let me see if I have a mirror to like show you.
You
I mean,
might.
there's
Oh, you know what? I'm sure there's one in the.
Oh yeah, I have a mirror.
Sweet, yeah. So you can show him if you want.
And then Arts be like, here, take a look.
Is
I'll
the
look
head
there.
lumpy?
it is not lumpy. He already doesn't have
Yeah.
eyebrows. I'm not doing that to him.
I'm not doing that to him. Tim, you like look at yourself in the mirror and the first thing is like you of course recognize your own face. You will always recognize your own face. But you like look pretty different. You've like changed your clothes. You're looking a little better. My big question is who's wearing Tim's original pants?
Those are the bloody ones. Tim is aware.
I guess Art will put them on.
Okay.
Will Art's dump truck fit in it?
Actually, Art, do you want to just wash these before we go back out?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Wash
you
them
guys
on.
can wash them, but they've been bloodstained for your whole journey. The blood is dry, soaked, and attached to the fibers. Washing is not going to do you guys a lot of good, and you guys are both smart enough dudes to know that.
Yeah, then Art will just be like, I don't think it's gonna come off that much. It's fine. It's fine because it's fine.
Who's wearing Art's mask?
Do you want to, Tim? I feel like with the bald head and mask combo, it should be pretty good.
Yeah, although I think he is going to not like have it up, but just have it wear it on his bandana, like so it's not gonna have it on.
Right, for sure.
Okay, so it's more like an accessory than an actual.
Yeah, well, because like
functional
if you
mask.
shave the mustache, you don't want to hide it, because then it's like okay, he could have a mustache underneath. It's probably Tim.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, I like that.
Makes sense.
Okay, so you think you look passable. You saw the intensity that those guys were watching the door, and you know, you're not sure if you're going to be able to trick them, but you'd definitely be passable in a crowd.
Okay. Are we? Do you want to try to speak to Jakal?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Let's go down there, see how it is, and see if we can catch him, and see if he'll speak to us.
All right. So I guess we'll make our way downstairs to go see Ka. And
Wow. That is wild. I just rolled 6d20 and only one of them came up over 10. That is
Yeah.
insane. So, as you guys walk through, you only draw the attention of one orc individual sitting in the corner who's just kind of squinting at you guys as you're walking around. But everybody else is pretty into their food. And Jakar sees you guys, and his eyebrows raise, and you guys can see he's definitely like he knows who you guys are, and he's very surprised by how different you both look.
really?
And he, and he says, and he actually doesn't say anything. He sits there, and you see him doing the finger tapping thing on. Hold on, here's something outside.
I like this plan.
Oh, sorry guys, I had a little PTSD response after our neighbor's dog got through the fence and mauled our dog when we first moved in. Now I hear my dog barking and I shoot up to go see what's going on. Okay, so you see Jakal tapping his fingers, and you can hear the thump 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 of his fingers on the bar. Yes, Wade, I will absolutely show you Roxy dog tags. I'm also having I'm going to commission a custom Roxy emote for the channel.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm going to have a little Roxy face. She's a little emote at some point. It's going to be real cute. She's actually getting... Babe, are you feeding her? No, I don't know. Okay. Yes, I will, Sway. Give me just a minute. Okay, so there's this one orc looking at you, and Jakar is tapping his fingers on the bar, looking at you guys, looking around, looking back at you guys, waiting for you to approach.
Tim is going to the bar itself. How crowded would it be?
There's nobody actually at the bar. All the other patrons are at tables scattered along the perimeter of the room.
Okay. Tim is going to go over the bar and flag him down casually, for a drink.
And Jakal makes it a point of sliding over really casually. And what gives him away is kind of the he's usually got this loud, booming, boisterous voice, and in kind of a controlled tone, he's like, "And what can I get for you?"
Bit of help and maybe some privacy to speak.
Dang.
And Jakar laughs and says a little too loudly, "This isn't that kind of establishment." But his eyes are fixated, super focused on you.
To be fair, Tim did kind of low voice, try not to be heard.
Got you. Okay. It probably doesn't change Jakal's response.
Okay.
Hey, Roxy, your friend Coop wants to see you.
It's baby tax.
Dog break.
No, I can still get you.
The baby.
Go baby.
Roxy, one day you will get to play with us.
Yeah.
And if Dave lets you one single noodle of mac and cheese.
She could probably do a single noodle. She could probably deal with that. Ooh, look at your little face, though. You'll be so cute on the stream. Little emo. Little Roxy emo. Yeah, it'll be very cute. Yeah, okay.
Roxy's nickname is Rocco.
Yeah, it's actually a really specific nickname for Slade is a friend of mine from NorCal, and we used to like hang out in person a lot. I actually miss his face quite a bit, and really wish I had more time. But he's the one who started calling her Rocco, and it's always been his pet name for her. Yeah, it's a special thing they share. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. She's a very popular dog with lots of friends.
I like the fact that she sounds like a chainsaw.
She definitely does sound like a chainsaw or a motorboat. That's her game. That's her deal.
Daniel, you're gonna see it one day, and you're gonna realize like how that noise.
What the? I've never heard it before.
Yeah, you guys will
It's
come
when
over
she
for
plays.
some in-person D&D sessions at some point, and you'll meet Roxy, and we'll play with her, and you'll hear her playing noises that sound like she's viciously mauling some kind of small creature, but she's really just having a great time.
Nice.
Okay, thank you guys, my players, for being patient. Roxy is a beautiful, wonderful thing, and can only do good things for the stream. So, thank you so much. Okay, so Jakar has, like, more loudly than he needs to. This is not that sort of establishment. When you asked for like a private place to talk, despite the fact that you said it quietly.
Okay. Tim's just gonna quietly say, like, all right, there's 2 guards out there from the Shaded Chestnut that basically want a piece of me, and we need a bit of help getting out.
And one of Jakar's eyebrows raise, and he rattles off, I have more of a stout and like a wheat beer. Which one would you like? Like, he's like obviously faking the other half of this conversation, and probably a little too over the top. But Jakar's not a liar; he's a fighter. So this is what you get.
I guess Art will chime in and is like, are those code for some weapons?
My God. Y'all are gonna die before you end up getting to Marion Corbin.
Oh my God. And Jakar turns to you and says, "No, I stopped serving breakfast a while ago."
This isn't McDonald's. No more 24-hour breakfast.
And upon this, Tim is going to say, would it be all, or like, again, still kind of quietly, but would it be all right if we use the back door to go out? I'm having a bit of stomach issues. Need to get some air.
And you see Jakar's eyes like twinkle for a second, and he says, "All right, for your rooms for the past month and your meals for that time. I think it's about time we squared up. That'll be 30 gold." And he's like looking at you expectantly, like just kind of expecting you to get the other half of this.
Tim is going to just hand him his whole coin purse, like not even take gold out of it, and be like,
Jakar, I'm sorry, what are you gonna say?
Here's 21. I hope the rest can go on my tab.
And Jakar, opens your bag, pulls out 13 coins. And then, hey, thanks so much, Suede, for the sub with your Prime. That is so wonderful. Thank you. It's been a long couple years. Enjoy your emotes. You now have some fun emotes. And I love you very much, friend. Okay. Back to this. Okay. So he pulls out 13 coins, sets them on the table, and you know, look like, and there's still obviously coins in the bag. I don't. How many coins did you have actually? How much gold did you actually have?
21, and like some silver and copper.
So he pulls out 13 gold coins, and then looks inside and he hands it back to you and says, "The rest of this is just silver and copper." He said, "Only gold is good here." He says, "You're gonna have to work the rest of that off." And he like throws his thumb over his shoulder, and he says, "Get into the back if you don't want any trouble."
Okay. It'll be like, Art is just gonna be like, yes. Or I guess he won't say anything, but he's just thinking like, all right, come on. He'll play along like, all right, fine. We'll go ahead and work. Let's go.
Where's the mop?
And he gestures over to one of the barmaids and says, "Watch the bar for a moment while I get the new hires squared away." And he leads you back into the back. And there's not like a kitchen area because like the kitchen is just kind of an open hearth it doubles for like heat production and for food. And allows people to like place their own orders, check on the status of their food. It's like a medieval type deal. But the back of the building does have Jakaw's private quarters and some storerooms. And so, he leads you guys back down a hallway and, passes his room into one of the storerooms in like the far back side of the building. And, gestures for you guys to go inside. And once the three of you are in there, he closes the door and like and turns to you guys and pretty angrily turns to Tim and said, "God damn it, can't you stay out of trouble for one fucking day?"
Been out of trouble for several days. This is not our fault.
And he says, "Yeah, I hear you've been out of trouble because you haven't been in town."
Yeah, some fucked up shit happened at the logging camp, and we managed to save one person, but they didn't exactly have the highest opinion of us, and they stole one of our horses this morning.
Art will kind of chime in and be like, we're really trying to make things right.
And he just like puts his face in his hands. Fucking adventurers. And he, looks up at you guys and says, "What?" He's like, "And how did you get into trouble with the guards?" He said they're dicks over at the Shaded Chestnut. He said, "But they won't chase after you for no reason."
They were racist.
Art will kind of be like, "Oh, that's my bad. They didn't say the best comments about Mary and Corbin, so I decided to say not so nice comments about their chief or their leader."
The dead one.
Yeah.
And Jakaw says, "I'd like to skull fuck his corpse myself." He's a fighter, He's not that happy about these guys either. He's an orc. They're racist against him too. And he's like had to run a business across the street from them basically for his whole life. And so I'd like to skull fuck his corpse myself. And he says, "But I know better than to say that shit out loud. At least where they can hear me."
We'll keep a note of that. But right now, we have to really get to Mary and Corbin. It's really serious.
And he, and he, like, turns to Tim, and says, "How serious?"
I mean, we haven't linked up with the two of them yet, and I assume they got here several hours ago. But it's, if it's the worst case scenario, then Lizard, the one guy who survived, maybe gave a not so nice report about us to the Woodsman's Guild.
He's like, wait, Lizard, and he like his kind of like jaw goes slack and his eyes glaze over and he looks at you, and he's like, Jocks, you guys cross Jocks?
We don't
We
know
didn't-
his name.
Oh yeah, we don't.
Tim is
Mary
going.
does. I
And
asked.
Tim, well, she does, but she's not here.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What's it called? Wisdom roll to describe him, because I don't remember.
You don't even need that, because if you don't immediately like act with recognition, he'll start the process of describing him. He's like,
Okay.
big alligator-looking guy, orange, teeth, claws, pretty stubborn.
Kind of stupid.
He says, well,
Little.
I mean, loggers, and he like shrugs.
Yeah, he was logger. Yes.
Come
Yeah.
on, let's.
Yes, that is him.
I want
That
to
is him.
go out and come rescue Mary.
Mary, you're the one who was running your fucking mouth. Being in prison are the consequences. You gotta wait until your rescue party shows up.
I know. I just hope that Jaka is one of them, and it's gonna. Oh, that's how we rekindle our friendship.
Oh man. Okay. So he describes him, and you say yeah. And then he rolls, and he says, and he says, him and Otek are good friends. He's like, you could have fucked with anybody else, but no.
I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what to say. All right,
You're saying.
all right, go ahead.
No, you're good.
All right, I was just gonna say, it wasn't our choice, but we're trying to make it better.
And Jaka sighs and says, it never is. And we're trying to make it better. He like looks at you and he looks at Tim, and like without breaking eye contact with him, he says, that I believe. And he motions you over to like the back wall, and he says, and he like puts his like weight on a crate, and he starts like pushing against it, and he says, help me with this.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and help him.
And as you guys like push this crate out of the way, there's like a small like break in the wall, and it's not enough for you guys to like walk through, but you could like hunch over. Mary could probably stride right through it, but there'd only be an inch or so of clearance above her head. You guys are gonna have to like crouch and like squeeze through, and Jaka's gonna say, it's an old break in the building from a blood moon a long time ago. He says, I find it useful sometimes. And he says, it'll dump you out on the east side of the building. He's like, stay out of sight. He's like, or don't. Just don't come back here. And he looks at you, Tim, and he says, I'm keeping that gold. That's the price for breaking our agreement.
All right, we'll just go with him. Like, I'll pay you back.
Don't worry about it. You're broke too.
All right. I guess Art will just say, thank you for helping us.
And he says, yeah, sounds good. No problem. He's like, if you guys will just let this blow over for a while, this won't be so bad, but you guys just can't fucking leave it alone. And then he stops for a second, and he looks up and he says, good luck. Don't die.
Thank you. All right, let's go, Tim.
Yeah. Tim says thank you, and then he starts going.
Okay. You guys like squeeze through, and you like get into the crack, and there's like a space between like an old interior stone wall and a new stone wall where they had like erected it, in place of like where one of the walls had collapsed from a previous deal. But as you're like walking through, you can see some like light streaming through a crack, and as you like push your way through, there's like a bush on the other side of it, but you like kind of squeeze out, and you like make your way through the bush, and you look up, and you're on the back side of the because this is the rusty hand axe here, so you guys are on like the back side of the rusty hand axe. You know, in the last time you guys were here, there was a warg chasing after you the night of the blood moon. That's like roughly where you guys are.
Okay. Tim is just like, come on, let's sneak over to Charz's, and I'm sure Marion will take us there.
All right, sounds good.
And Tim is planning on taking like the long way around the shaded chestnuts, like going.
Well, the shaded chestnut's over here, and Charz's tower is out this road, so you could pretty easily just cut out that way. But let me pull up the town map real quick, so you can tell me exactly how you want to get to Charz's tower. So you guys normally walk up and down this road. This is like a government building. That's where the town crier is. And then Charz's tower is over here through like a forest path at the base of the hill with the like destroyed structure of some kind at the top.
Okay. Tim's just gonna be like, to Art is like, we can go roundabout. We just need to act natural. I'm sure like our different looks will disguise us enough so that if we're not doing anything crazy enough, no one's gonna give us a look.
All right, sounds good.
And Tim is planning on like going like in down like around down and around, and then just cutting across.
So you're gonna walk like past the remains of Destin's house, and then like up through some of the farmland to get to where you're going.
Yeah.
Okay. And you both feel like a cold chill run down your spine as you walk over the site where Destin's mother was viciously torn apart by wargs, past the charred remains of his childhood home, and continue on your way to Charz's tower. You arrive at the tower. Charz.
I'm starting to have some minor regrets.
You know what, Jennifer?
You're fine.
And it's not because of the speech. It's because I ate too many peanuts and now my stomach hurts.
Oh, well, that I can't do it. That I can't. Roll a Constitution save. Maybe that'll help.
I was going to say, player Andres has ideas.
Oh, man.
Player Andres has ideas to work this into character Tim.
Okay. I don't think Mary and Corbin are gonna die this way, mind you, but like, I am gonna find it funny if the entire session is them trying to find Mary and Corbin, and the last minute cuts back to me and him, and it's like just us really playing on a harmonica, beating like the tin can.
No, but if they are heading towards your tower, I think I am gonna cut them at like approaching Charz's tower, and I will cut back to you and Corbin. So, Mary, you're conscious through this whole... You and Corbin are conscious through this whole debacle. But you have this hold person spell which has been cast on you, which basically, like, paralyzes your body and makes it rigid, and you, like, can't talk. You can still, like, see stuff and hear stuff, but you can't, like, speak or move in any way. And you would be able to see stuff if they hadn't put a hood over your head. And your hearing is okay, but, again, hood over your head. So, it seems like they leave you here for a while, and you feel them walk you in one direction and back the other, and it feels like you're just like walking in circles for a while, but after like 20-30 minutes of you being like slung over somebody's shoulder like a sack of potatoes, still unable to move, you get pretty violently like dumped off on like a cold hard stone floor, and you hear a thud of a second body, thump, and Corbin just and after and you hear the voice of the of the grumpy dwarf, just like, stay out the trouble now! As he, as a door like slams, and not too much later, you guys begin to like get movement, like control of your body back again, and you can't see anything, but slowly but surely you can, move your pinky finger and then your big toe, and then you can move your elbow, and you kind of start the process of propping yourself up, and like half hour later, you and Corbin are both like sitting up, and you can force your jaws open and get some words out now. If you weren't gagged, but you are of course gagged. So it's more unless you want to roll. Now you can roll your escape artist check
Okay.
because you can move again.
See. Da, 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 da.
I will need to up
Dirty
your
20.
size a little bit. Oh, sweet, it worked anyway. Cool. Dirty 20 is... I gotta check the DC on escape artist stuff. Give me just a second. Oh, you know what? No, I have an object now. It's like a DM screen. Yeah. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm sorry. You rolled a dirty 20. Being tied up is pretty hard to get out of. Okay, you do not loose your binds, but you are able to like spit out the gag, and you can at least now speak. But you are still bound. Hey, Token, thanks for subbing. Oh my goodness, you guys are the bomb. Congratulations, you are within the first 10 people to subscribe to the channel. You guys are number 3 and 4, I believe. So you now have like founders badges for the channel and a bunch of emotes. So high fives. I love you both. Thanks so much. Okay, you can now speak, Mary.
Corbin,
Mm-hmm.
can you move at all?
And you feel him like bump up against you.
Okay. I need you to take like your claw hand, like the hook, and cut the rope. If you can manage on mine, and then I'll get you out of yours.
And he in protest.
Mary's gonna be, Corbin, it's the only way.
God, I don't even know what to roll for him for this. Probably. Oh, he can roll his own escape artist check. Duh. Ooh. Corbin, like you feel Corbin like push up against you, and you feel his hook just like jabbing into like your back and your gut and your side and your shoulder as he's trying to like get a grip on the rope, and he appears to be fumbling with this pretty bad.
Can Mary like guide him like to the left? Take it back now.
He will roll with advantage because you are guiding him now, and that is unfortunately not. It's an improvement, but not enough for him to completely loose you.
Can he stand up?
You can't. You can now. Your ankles were previously bound. That is the one thing that Corbin is able to get undone with his hook, which is not sharp. It's just a hook.
Mary's gonna tell Corbin, leave your hook hand out. I'll find it myself, and stand up and try to like back into the hook with her back so it hits the back, and then guide her arms around it.
Ooh, that is good. And because Corbin is a willing participant and you can walk him through this, it takes quite a bit of time. It is a tedious process to do this, but eventually You know what? For the time element, go ahead and roll me one more escape artist check. Just see how
Okay.
long this takes. This is a good strategy. This will eventually work for you. The question is how quickly it works for you.
Yeah. 18.
Fairly quickly. After less than, but almost an hour of struggling, you are finally 100% free. Legs, arms, hands. You like rip the hood off of your head and look around, and you are in a room that is completely dark. You do have dark vision, so you're able to make out like the shapes of like crates and barrels against the wall, and like a couple of buckets that are half full of very old excrement of some kind, and like this is obviously like a storage room of some sort turned holding cell.
Okay, can Mary, she's gonna cast her little light bulb spell
Cool. And
and create a
as
small dim light. She's
yeah,
gonna use one of them.
yeah, you can use as many or as few as you want. So as you go ahead and use that cantrip, your dancing lights cantrip, and only summon one of the dancing lights, and tone it down to a particularly dim glow, you're able to make out Corbin, and you know the way like he was able to use his hook because they like tied his wrist to the hook, but the hook is still a hook, and he's like bound but definitely awkwardly, and he still has like a sack over his head and is sitting there just like
She's gonna get him undone, like, and get the thing off of him, and she's gonna like put her finger over his mouth and then take off the gag, like to tell him to keep quiet.
yeah, and he's been traveling with you guys for long enough now that he like knows a little bit of nonverbal language now. And so, whoop, I lost somebody. Mary, I think. But
Yeah, I'll connect again.
yeah, we're theater mind right now anyway, so not a huge deal. And you guys find yourself in, the small room, and Corbin like looks around, looks at you wide eyed, and as soon as you like take the gag out, he like whispers at you in a hoarse whisper, "Why did you threaten to kill him?"
Mary's gonna be like, I have anger issues. That smug ass, fucking alligator ass. I'm not letting him ruin that little boy's life. And Mary's, can she do like how good at you are seeing in the dark?
You can see in the dark. This is a
No,
small
she's
enough.
asking Corbin.
Oh, how good can Corbin see in the dark? He has low light vision just like you. I mean, pretty well. No colors,
Okay.
but shapes.
Yeah, Mary's gonna look around. She's gonna be like, do you see any? Can Mary roll for windows and tell Corbin to look for like some type of escape?
Yeah, you guys both need to roll perception checks
Okay.
as you look around this place.
Dirty 20.
Cool. He did not roll super well. You look around, and this is a fairly small room. I'd say it's like, 15 by 15. There are all these like crates and things everywhere. There only appears to be one door which leads in or out of this, square room. You have like poked through some of the boxes and things and found that most of what's in these boxes are like forgotten scraps of like wood and wood products, um, but they're like old axe handles that have like are off of axes that have like broken a long time ago, and uh, just like wood blocks and like trimmings of like shit that's left. It's just clear they don't throw anything away, and this is just some kind of like storage room. And then the thing that strikes you most with your dirty 20 about looking for this place is you don't see an obvious escape, uh, but the air feels like thicker here, kind of like dank, and you suspect that you may be underground.
Mary's gonna kind of breathe in, and she's like, Corbin, have you ever been, like, confirmedly underground?
Well, I mean, we were sleeping in the cellar of the church. That smelled weird. Kind of like this, actually.
Okay, I think we're in, like, a basement. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna try to sneak out. I think you should just stay here and hide. Because I'm not sure how far you're gonna make it sneaking.
And Corbin's gonna be like, this is a jail cell. He's like whispering, but it's a jail cell. You can't leave me here.
Okay, buddy. She's gonna look at him and be like, if you get caught, I'ma just run for it and get Tim and Art. Are you okay with that?
No, don't get caught. No, we're not gonna get caught. We're gonna get out of here. You have a plan, right?
And she's gonna say, okay, I'm gonna sneak, I'm gonna look through that door, and we're gonna find out, like, how good of a chance we got. I'll come back to you once I figure out how good of a chance we got. Deal?
I don't like that. I just, we already split up once and it did not end well.
I know, but I don't. It's like a bunch of dudes against us.
Then
A
why are
couple
you
in
trying to go out there?
Huh?
Then why are you trying to go out there? There's a bunch of dudes.
Because I can hide easily. I'm short. And sneaky. Despite my arthritis.
Corbin's gonna be like, I can sneak too.
And she's like, I know, and you've done a great job in the past, but I don't want to risk it.
I mean, Corbin's not super comfortable with this idea, but he's, well, can you even get out there?
That's what I'm gonna see. And Mary's gonna look at the door, and she's gonna kind of waddle over to it, and very gently do the door handle and see if it's locked or not.
Slide a hand check, please.
Into the thing. Into the thing. Where's my skill check?
Oh, I just want to say it is 9 o'clock.
Cool. I know you got about 10 left. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch back to you and to you two.
15.
Let you play through your time, and then whenever you have to go, you can go. And then if Mary wants to keep doing a little bit of playing, she's on her own right now, so it's a good time for that. So Mary rolls a 15 on her sleight of hand, which is enough to not make the mechanism, like the latch mechanism, make too much noise. However, it immediately starts making a shit ton of noise. Boo! 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 And then I'm going to cut, and we'll come back to you guys. And the boys have just arrived at Charles's tower.
Tim is going to, look around and then knock at the door.
He raises his hand to knock on the door and sees the glowing blue emblem on the back of his hand that Char has left him with previously.
Oh yeah, you know what's up.
And here's the door and open up, and you hear scuttling footsteps, and it's actually Fareed this time, who opens the door and looks surprised to see you. And he's and he looks out and he looks around the corner and looks around. Where's Marion Corbin?
I thought they'd be here.
He's holding Miko, who's looking around excitedly.
It's Mama.
They got into town several hours ago. They should have been here by now.
Well, we haven't seen them. They might be in town though. And he swings the door open. He's like, come in.
Is Charas here?
Yes. He's working. He's up in his study. I'll go retrieve him now.
All right.
And he, just peers up the stairs, and Miko's down there, and he's starting the process of crawling up Tim's leg.
Tim is gonna like pick him up and like hold him in one arm, and then like turning back to he's just gonna be like, all right, here's the plan. As he like feeds Miko a little bit of food, but like as he's talking, he's feeding Miko.
I love it. Oh man.
He's gonna like see these sigils. Chars can track us with these. We can find out where Mary and Corbin are. We can meet up with them.
I love it when my players remember details. Okay. Art, it's just you guys down here right now.
Sorry, freaking.
You could
My
pet
dog's-
Nico.
My dog's going crazy for something.
Got you.
All right. So you were saying that we could track Mary and Corbin down?
Yeah.
Okay.
If
Sorry, go
Jox
ahead.
has anything to do with it, then we can expect bad things, or they could just be chilling at the general store. Who knows?
Okay. Sounds good.
For all we know, they went to the strip club. Yeah. Mary and Corbin.
You guys see Fareed scampering down the stairs, and you hear Char's you see Char's grizzled face with his gray hair, and he says, what what is this business? Hello, what can I do for you?
Would you happen to be able to track Corbin and Mary? We don't know where they are.
He says, of course. And he says, I know where you are all the time when you're in town. And he closes his eyes, tilts his head back. And he opens his eyes. He's like, they're near the Woodsman's Guild.
Guild.
Several hours.
And Charles just shrugs and says, I can't tell you why they are where they are. I can just tell you where they are.
All right.
Could you send him a message just telling him we're heading over in a bit?
And Charles says, I can do that. Any other information you'd like to get across?
Tell him. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Now, if Art's got something spicy to say, he can say it.
He was just gonna say we might look different. Just keep that in mind.
I love it.
Which I kind of wonder what was Charz's response to our disguises.
No reaction. It doesn't. He put the marks on you guys. He knows where your locations are. He inherently no disguise. While you're wearing his mark, no disguise will hide you from him. He knows who you guys are. But he's this quirky dude. So what? Tim shaved his fucking head. He had no eyebrows in the first place. What the fuck does that matter? It's he doesn't.
Sure.
And then, okay, so you guys hear Charis just talking out loud. He brings out a small trinket, and he's rubbing it and whispering to it, and you guys see it glowing the same bluish color that your marks glow, and you hear a super quiet faint version of Chariz's voice in the back of your guys' head in the same way you normally do, confirming that he said what you guys are planning, what you guys are saying. He says, Art and Tim are coming for you. They look a little funny. Don't be surprised. Good luck. Super quiet in the back of your head.
And we can't reply to this, right?
You cannot reply to this, no.
Damn.
So the boys have confirmation, basically, is the important part of that.
Yeah. Then he's just yeah, we were coming back from the logging camp, and we found one survivor, and he's not the most fond of us, and he stole our horse.
Oh dear, only one survivor.
Yeah. We had a run-in with some of the Shaded Chestnut and Jacquard told us that his name was Jocks and that it's not good to be on his bad side, which we may be. So
And he, strokes his beard. He says, "Oh, yes, I know Jocks." And he says, "He's, definitely a stubborn lizard folk. He said, good friends with that, dwarf on the council, Ozark."
that's not good. I don't know about you, Art, but I'm getting a bad feeling about that.
Yeah, we should probably head over there right now and see what's up.
Um,
Tim, you cut out.
yeah, Yeah, let's just be careful.
Well, should we hatch a plan since maybe the people who are with them, like, will they be able to recognize us? Could we hatch a plan to, like, kind of, I don't know, do something?
Charles, do you have anything that'll help make our disguises better?
And he says, "Well, that depends. Are you opposed to the taste of milkwort?"
What's that? This is me asking.
It is like a notoriously foul tasting herb.
Oh.
So milkwork, that's delicious.
Oh,
Tim is an alchemist. He's used to tasting weird stuff. He has a palate. He's grown comfortable with this kind of stuff.
I
Tim
love it.
definitely eats ass.
Oh man. Whew.
You'll love it. You'll love it.
Art is just kind of be like,
Remember the keys that Tim said I would love and Mary barfed?
oh yeah, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Art will kind of remember that, and he'll just be like, like, knowing that he's probably not gonna like it, but he's at the point to where like, maybe it'll help. So he's gonna be like, all right, fine, let's do it.
And Charez, goes back to he goes back up the stairs, and he says, "I'll be back in a little while. I just need to throw something together really quickly. Just a moment." And he disappears up the stairs, and comes down like 20 minutes later, and like in his hands he's holding two, like vials of fluid that are like a murky yellow green color, and there's something about the way they slosh in the vials that just like makes your stomach turn, and he like hands them both out to you and says, now just imagine what you want to look like, and think really hard, don't miss a detail, and you'll look like that for. And he like pulls out little like rune pocket watch style deal, and he says, a few hours later. Soda night.
Oh no.
Dang.
I actually want to think of what I want to look like.
It's
Well-
9:18, so if you got to be done by 9:20, you can hold off on that.
You can
choice
imagine
until
you look like
next,
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
until
You,
next
yeah,
session
you can
if you
think about
want.
it.
All right, that sounds good.
So
I would make myself look like a sexy jelly bean.
So I am going to, unless or unless Tim has anything else he specifically wants to say right in this moment.
No, it's basically another question that's going to inform my choice here.
Got you.
A choice here.
I mean, we got
Well,
2
I
minutes. You can ask a question, probably.
It's a rules question that I'm also trying to look up.
Oh,
But
I got it.
it's whether he can learn the chemical makeup of the potion just by identifying it.
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking away up right now.
Yeah, and I will probably also take some time to confirm that ruling for you and to think about you know, the rules and precedents that I've established in this homebrew world in this campaign so far, and make it based on that. The answer is probably, but there's also probably a role involved. Is my short answer, and then we'll do a little bit more research there. So this feels like a great place to break either the session entirely or at least the Char's portion of the session. In theory, we could do more Mary and Corbin stuff, but it sounded like Mary's player wanted to get something done after the session, so that is totally up
Oh
to
no,
Mary.
I'm fine.
Okay.
We can go to Walmart at a later time.
Sweet. Then I don't want to keep Daniel waiting any longer if he needs to get himself ready to get to work. Thank you for joining us, Bud. We will pick you guys up at Charles's tower. You know, you can tell me what you want to look like, and that'll be kind of the first thing we do on the next session. Will be like Tim asking this question to Charles, and you know, potentially drinking your potion and transforming into whatever you want to transform into, and you guys can like take a week and think about that. And then we'll flip over to Mary and give her an opportunity to react to her situation for probably the next like 15-20 minutes or so, because she won't be able to go too long without you guys. So thank you, Daniel, for joining us.
Yeah,
Good luck at work,
no problem.
bud.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it, and it was a really good session. I really liked it.
Cool. Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. I love that. Cool. Awesome. Good luck.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. See you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Mary has just touched the latch and set off some kind of loud ass alarm. And Corbin like yells over it, like, "What did you do?"
Mary is gonna go put her finger over the mouth, lean up against the wall where the door would open, so she would be hiding behind the door and go into sneak.
Ooh, I love that. Roll into stealth.
Okay. I'm using my pink bad bitch die.
Okay, that's fine.
Let me get it. Ow. Where'd I put it? It's over here.
It's over here.
Okay, come on, pink bad bitch die. Let's do this. Ow. Okay. God, have mercy on me.
It's just D&D. Worst case scenario, you die. You roll up a new character.
I
No big deal.
know. Not a nat 20, but a 19 plus a 10, so 29.
That is an excellent skill roll. So this alarm is like still going off, boo, 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 for like 30, 45 seconds. And then, boo, it like, you know, dies off. And you hear a thump, thump, thump from the other side of the door. And you hear a voice say, so the spell is worn off then. It's like there's no way out. The door's enchanted and alarmed, as you can tell. Don't even bother trying.
Mary's gonna go, what if I can make you a deal?
And you hear the voice. If only that's were the world we lived in. What deal could you possibly offer me?
I could get you Tim's journal, because I know for a fact he will not give you any information if me, Corbin, and our horses are not presented to him immediately.
You don't know that, so roll a bluff check.
Okay. Nah. Since the pink die was good to me, I'm gonna go do the pink die again and hope God isn't gonna be like, haha, net 1.
I mean, that's just a law of statistics right there. You can't roll high every time.
Ow! Oh, I dropped it. It hit my ankle.
Oof.
Ooh.
Floor rolls
See
don't
how it
count.
is.
Try again.
Okay, what's my bluff? Whew, where's my bluff? Let me count. Hold on.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. 24?
And the voice on the other side of the door says, "It is of no concern. It is of no concern whether he wishes to give up the journal." And you hear him, like the curled edge of a smile on the back end. Did you wish to be captured?
Particularly, but who said that Tim has the journal with him?
He is going to say the journal would not be of very much use if it was not something which was updated regularly and carried on him.
Yeah, true. But we also were going to go fight goblins. And why would we want that to fall into the hands of goblins that we know all their secrets and stuff?
And you hear the voice say, "There is no deal here. This bores me."
She's going to go, what doesn't bore you?
That's a great question.
Please be into big titty grandma milfs.
No, not this guy. Oh man, I haven't.
Okay, please be into sexy Mr. Cleans and we pimp out Tim.
What does he find interesting, and what does he say in response to you asking him from the other side of the door what he finds interesting? He's going to say, here we go. He's going to say, I find it interesting that a gnome would care so much about a young boy and a pair of horses.
Story about why I care so much interest you?
And he is going to definitely sound a little condescending and say, I'm sure it has to do with your motherly or perhaps grandmotherly or even great grandmotherly instincts.
And she's going to go, ha ha, but no.
And he's just going to say, fair warning, if we find you out of your cell, we will not put you back in again. We'll be taking you up to the cemetery. Have a nice stay. And you hear like footsteps receding.
She's going to go, wait.
You have no way of knowing if he stopped or not, so best just to say whatever it is.
Hold on, can I think?
Yeah, I had to think.
Okay. So
you're good. This is not a conversation I was prepared to have this session, so
yeah,
I didn't
this
think.
is a scholarly kind of dude. He was interested in certain things like Hagergash. She's going to say, I noticed you were interested in Hagergash. What if I could get you... Hold on, how do I put this?
That's a good question.
You were interested in Hagergash. What if I can get you... How do I put it? I'm wanting to say, like, in a merry way, like, he was interested in, like, archaeological, like, Hagergash stuff came up and intrigued him. He seems pretty scholarly and he doesn't care about other people that much, but what if she could get him something about that, specifically from the goblins? Artifact? Now let's do it.
Mary's gonna shout out. She's gonna shout out, "What if I can get you an artifact from the Hagergach ritual?" Mary is gonna. She's gonna take a ring off her finger, and she's gonna. Can I slide something under the door? It's like a wet. Yeah, it has like little purple jewels, like 3, but they're embedded into the ring. So the ring, if you touched it, would be smooth. Mary is okay. She's like, I only have one thing that I truly value, and I'd rather kill myself or die than lose it. Would that be enough insurance? He said, in my hand is the wedding band of my one true husband. He died when we were young, and I've never loved anyone like him since. It's the last thing I have of his. I swear on it, I will get you an artifact if you let me and our friend out and can get us that horse. That's all I ask, and we'll leave. Okay. Whew. Whew. I'm using my pink bad bitch die. I want to use it. Come on. Don't hit me in the ankle. 13 plus 23. And she, can I push it under the door? Okay. She's gonna kind of like push it under.
Ah, Suede. Thank you for calling that out. I had muted myself because while Mary was thinking about her response, I muted myself because while Mary was thinking about her response, I could hear Eva watching RuPaul in the background, and
Hell yeah!
those queens were like screaming. And so I muted my mic so that while we weren't talking, there wasn't just like a faint, RuPaul scream in the background. But then I forgot to unmute it as I was responding. So basically, for anybody who may be watching this after the fact and missed a little bit of audio, Mary has been like working out this deal, and you could obviously hear her part, and he has been trying to, you know, get some collateral out of her. Like he seems interested in this artifact, you know, but completely disinterested in helping her with the horse, as he, you know, has told her before. Like that's below him, beneath him, essentially, and is, but it says he says he may be willing to strike a bargain for a relic pertaining to Hadragash. Um, and he's now asked Mary for the ring, and she slid it under the door, and it actually came back to her this time. The first few times she tried to slide it, and it was like basically bouncing back at her. And now she slid it under, and it's actually gone under. And as soon as the ring like passes the threshold, she can see like a faint shimmer in the gap underneath the door. You know, consistent with some kind of magical warding. And you hear the faint sound of like, you know, metal being pulled off of stone. And he, you know, a few seconds of silence. And he says, I will return after we track down your friends.
Mary said, well, that's gonna be a bit of an issue.
And he says, the guild has plenty of resources at their disposal. Fear not.
In the meantime, can we at least not be in the room with the shit bucket?
And he and he says, well, you'll be grateful for the bucket when comes time to shit. And you hear footsteps receding as he like makes his way like away from the door. Here I actually am going to end the session because there's pretty much nothing Mary can say to bring him back at this point. Mary does not have her ring. She has a tentative deal of some kind, maybe worked out
Yeah.
with
Mary
this
was
dude.
doing this to be let out right this second, so in her mind, there is no deal.
Yeah, he said he'd come back. But you know,
Well,
this is one of those conversations where 100% of the power is on one side of the conversation, and both parties know that. So, I want to applaud. Oh my god, I want to applaud all you guys. I want to applaud Art and Tim for like doing the disguise thing and for like, you know, owning up to the consequences of their actions and trying to like get through Jakar. Major shout out to Mary's speak with animal to like talk with the horse like, hey, how long ago did all this shit go down? What do you know? What can you tell me? You know, Mary, that was probably the least expected moment of the entire campaign. You threatening to kill Jocks, like just right there, was hands down the thing I was least prepared for all campaign. So
Really?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Cause
What did you think was gonna happen?
keep in mind, I do all the world building. I know what all the dynamics are of all the cities before you guys even step 1 foot inside of them. There's information and there are things at play that you guys might not know about. And so you come off strong like that, and I have to like really seriously consider like how powerful the people are you're pissing off and what they can get away with and what their motivations are and what they want to get away with. And so it like took me a while to get through it, but I think that everything is still cohesive. You know, all my world building stuff applies, but this was really expected because, I mean, I feel like this kind of goes without saying, but the Woodsman's Guild is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I'm just saying, what did you think Mary was gonna do? Mary is notoriously not always the greatest decision maker when she's ticked off.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's the beautiful part. It's like, I anticipate your guys' actions enough to be able to write content and know if you're going to go somewhere that's going to need a map drawn for it. Like, that is the level of getting in your guys' heads that I try to do. Outside of that, I just kind of build the world, give the NPCs backstories and motivations. And then as you guys make your choices, interact with them, piss them off, what have you, like, I just go back to all the world building I did, like, dig up, whatever I wrote for that character and do my best to describe the consequences to you guys, which in my eyes is like textbook DMing. So, it's like, if I had to guess, I knew that probably the lizard folk survivor was going to run away with one of the horses. Like, I knew that he was going to volunteer for a watch and he was going to try to get away, especially after witnessing the whole, like, Tim bloody coin debacle. Like, he was not going to want to hang around after that. I did not anticipate Mary just, like, breaking off and chasing after him. I did not anticipate her getting, like, super accurate intel by talking to the fucking horse. Like, that was not something I'd even anticipated, thought about. And then
The moment I was like, there's another horse here, I went to bed. I can talk to it.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
It's My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know that and I appreciate your patience, because I know it's hard to have the party split and to be, like, running two groups at once and to be just, like, sitting there for 20 minutes at a time.
Oh, I
Just
don't
kinda, like,
mind. I'm
waiting.
eating Cheetos and peanuts.
Cool. I'm glad that you don't mind, because I am, like, very conscious of it when I'm doing it. But like I said, I also knew that Daniel was gonna have to go first, so I was trying to, like, give him a bunch of time, and then knowing that, after he left, we could still play the Mary and Corbin part of things for, at least a little while. So yeah, but yeah, that for me personally was the most unexpected moment of the campaign. So congratulations, you're keeping me on my toes.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, so the deal that guy stated, he's only coming back to let Mary out once Tim shows up?
He said he mentioned wanting to track down your friends, and he said that he would return after they had done so. And that's pretty much all the information that Mary has to go off of. But he, like, took the ring, so Mary can interpret that how she will. He didn't say no deal. He didn't say fuck you. He didn't say, enjoy rotting in your cell. Like, he seemed to express some interest in making a deal. He seemed to be interested in relics regarding to and relating to Hadragash. But he also seems like he does not trust you as far as he could throw you. So it's gonna be kind of a complicated process working out a deal with him.
Yeah. Andreas, your thoughts?
Really interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
That is honestly, I'm also reading the thing, so I'm learning. I'm having to absorb from two different sources at the same time.
Gotcha.
But definitely really interesting to listen to. Yeah, honestly wild. I did not expect Mary to get thrown in jail.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily either. But,
I knew what I was risking. If Mary dies this way, she dies this way. I love her, but, like, also, I have my backups.
Yeah, I know you have your backups. And, like, I literally called break. I went back. I was talking with Eva. I was like, I don't want to kill her. I don't know what to do, babe. I don't want to kill her. And I was
if you had killed me, all I would request was that, like, I get to go out Like, if they're, like, planning to kill me or something, Mary gets to just grab the dagger and do it real quick.
Oh, yeah, that's a fair request. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we will be able to work out a fun, exciting narrative for you guys where everybody lives. That is still just a little bit up in the air right now, though, I think. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Bathsheba to eventually come in, but...
Yeah,
So, it's
but
like...
I'm hoping that when that happens, it's because either A, Mary successfully completed her story arc, or B, gets killed by like an ogre or a dragon or some shit. I hope it's not.
I have my last words.
I hope it's not, a backroom bullet in the back of the head in the dark, basement
Next
somewhere.
to the shit bucket.
Just like CIA
that
level
would be a
taken
merry
out.
way to
Like,
die.
oh man.
That would be a merry way to die.
That would be, but if they take Mary out that way, they're probably also taking Corbin out that way.
Aww.
So.
Not necessarily. They might just take his arm and be like, no, no, no.
Yeah, they might.
Because Corbin hasn't really done much.
No, but
really should have hit a bomb in there and just have it blown up if someone else tries to like steal it from them.
Oh man, I might have let you do that too, because technically, rules is written: the moment a bomb is no longer in your control, it goes inert. But if it's in a device you created, serving a purpose that you have specifically set up, maybe that's apparatus level 2. When you get to Port Sockis and you have access to a real workshop, maybe you can make some alterations.
Yeah, I think though bombs really only last the one day, so like it would have to be a thing of constantly making new ones for teaching to make some or something like that.
Yeah, or Corbin already has a morning ritual where he meets up with Mary and gets his makeup done to cover his like brand. So it wouldn't be that much of an ask for him to like, while he's sitting there getting makeup done, to like hold his arm out and have you like swap out the day's bomb. We can.
He's like one of those supermodels where they have 20 people working on him at once.
I know Art's like painting his toenails.
Miko is in the back giving him a head massage.
Scrubbing him, scratching him with his little claws. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. Sweet. Well, give me just a second, guys. I am going to. Ooh. That was one of those like deep burps that came from from the diaphragm. Okay, I am going to end stream. Give me just a second. We are going to see. I thought you needed at least 3 people to raid out, but I think you can do it with only 2 people once you are an affiliate. Pretty sure. Okay, we are going to try this, guys. We're going to see about raiding out to my buddy Jarl of Goats. He's a good guy. Let's see how this works. To end my stream, though, thanks for hanging out, guys. Swade, if you're still here, thanks for the sub. Soto, I know you went to bed already. Thanks for the sub. This is incredible. This is... Swade, you are here. Great. This has been a blast. Swade, I know that you had expressed some interest in doing some like Stellaris co-streams. I do a little bit of Stellaris on Sundays sometimes. If you are interested in playing in maybe like a D&D one-shot at some point, we run those on... I run those on like alternate weeks, so if somebody cancels... I don't have a free slot in this game, but Daniel, who had to leave early tonight, some nights he has to leave at like 8 o'clock, and some nights it doesn't get scheduled. It just doesn't work. And so I'll have these 2 guys run a game where I have like guest people come in and like, their character plays for the session or two, and then whenever we get back to the main campaign, it's like a rotating thing. And then my Friday group just went from every week to every other week, so I may be running some like pickup D&D games every other Friday, and like I know Evan has played in one of those, so it'd be a blast to get like you and Evan together with maybe one or two of my hometown guys on Friday, do like a one-shot kind of thing. So we'll talk about that. We will be in touch. But either way, thank you for the sub. Welcome to being a founder. Thanks for coming and hanging out, supporting the stream. It's crazy to me that I made it to affiliate at all. Like, this is absolutely wild. Okay, so we are going to raid Jarl. He is currently playing Crusader Kings 3. I know that you are a Crusader Kings fan, Swade, so...
What does raid mean?
Raid means that we are going to... So, like, all the viewers in my channel right now, all 2 of them, I'm going to dump them in Jarl's stream. And he's going to get a little alert that says, you're being raided by OG Merpay with 2 viewers. But it's a good way to, like, pay it forward so that, you know what I mean? It's like you don't just tell all your viewers, like, peace out, disconnect, and then everybody's, like, on their own.
I thought we were about to attack someone's thing, and I was like, Dave, what are we doing?
Hello, everyone from the raid. Welcome in. If we could get a shout out for OG Mope, that would be amazing. Blessings upon you. We are about to go to war. Join us in the kingdom of buttholes.
Wait, I have a special emote for this now, I think. I'm pretty sure.
All right.
Right? I do.
Let's raise the levies. Merge the forces.
Not gonna lie, I kind of miss Bink and Hans.
All of us greet here.
There. We'll get to him at some point.
Commander? No. No.
Bink, Hans, Sebastian, Braun.
Me.
Or no, it was
I am
Don.
the commander. All right, let's go.
Dawn, yeah. It was Dawn Launson. Not Ron Swanson, Dawn Launson. Okay, hold on. I am going to actually end my stream.
Dump Grog, come